game, they don't have to be like for like, and you may want to, change things positionally, but the fact that, Curtis Jones is the third right-back of this game, actually, sorry, is the third right-back of this half, I think, for Liverpool, probably sums it up.
Well, you're looking, and they've just got a free kick here.
Slobberslide plays it in, but that sums it up. Even from him, from a free kick, straight into the arms of Bart Verbruggen, and if he should just hold on to this for a while. Go on, Rob.
Yeah, and you're looking at the first half, and we go back to what Stephen was saying, and what we were saying before, was 1-1 at half-time was okay.
Well, here's Ruta on the edge of the penalty area. The flag's gone up. Again, he won it back so easily, Ruta.
There's barely a fight when the ball goes up. There's barely a tackle when they come down to play. And it all leans into the fact that the players are just lost on the pitch. He changed it at half-time. I don't know why. There was a couple of good battles going on the pitch. Like, we're enjoying this. This is two good pros going at it. Great. And then it changed at half-time, and the players just look completely lost, and lost all belief as well.
I was also going to say there's no focal point up top. There's no out-and-out 9 that's stretching the pitch, making those runs. Obviously, Ekitike came off. I'm not saying that's going to sort out all your defensive problems and structure, but just having someone up top that actually has that sense of system and knows what they're doing. They're really occupying the centre halves, opens up the midfield for your midfielders run. You get the wide players on, the back line are more set up. Even with the press, then you've got more of a structure. Just don't think they've got anyone at the moment that really is an out-and-out 9.
Liverpool fans are leaving. That tells you everything. They've walked out.
They lost Ekitike early, and Florian Wirtz went up top alongside Gakpo, and they were fine. It was working okay. And then they swapped it, so McAllister was doing it. That is the last thing he needs to be doing.
And then when Chiesa came on, he went through the middle for a while. He now appears to be out on the right again.
He's on the pitch.
Yes, with Gakpo through the middle now. Yes. Since Ngamoa came on. No?
There's four of them up front. There's just a line of four. It's you're into the dying embers of the game. They've barely had a shot since going 2-1 down. They've had one good chance, and other than that, it's been all Brighton.
Are we in stop? I'm sorry, John. I've completely lost track of time here because it only takes a kick-off to change 15 minutes, and I'm all over the place trying to work out where the timing's up.
We're in the final minute. We are on the sixth. Actually, we've played time. There's 6 minutes added on. I suspect when the goalkeeper here launches this long and high up the field, this could well be when the full-time whistle goes. Mamdashvili will send this over the halfway line, and this will be the last play for Liverpool, who, as we say at times this afternoon, have been shambolic. And there's Veltman, the substitute, headed into Ruta, and Ruta over the halfway line. Veltman's continued forward. Can Brighton finish this off with the goal? Trying to find Ayari, straight to Szoboszlai, and he will bring it out of defence, but he loses it as well. Manfully tries to carry on, and it's a free kick, and we still play. So he plays 97 minutes of the game, Rob, and this will be the last chance.
Actually, the way... Sorry, I was just going to say, Alan, the way that... Oh, and there you go.
You have to give credit to Brighton. They have been terrific this afternoon, but Liverpool will not look back on this with much. They at times have been awful down here on the south coast. Brighton have won by 2-1. Remember, 1-1 at half-time. Danny Welbeck with the opener, heading in at the back post. Good finish from him, but defensively there'll be questions asked there. The equalising goal, an absolute horror show from Lewis Dunk. Headed back to his goalkeeper, didn't see Milos Kerkez lurking. He nipped in and clipped it over Bart Verbruggen. The second half, though, it belonged to Brighton. Minte was terrific, crossed from the left-hand side. Hinshelwood was at the back post. He clawed it back, and there was Welbeck to tuck it in. 35 years of age, 12th league goal of the season for him. As we said, at times, Liverpool were shambolic in this second half. Some of their fans have stayed on, and they just look a little bit shell-shocked away to our right-hand side. The players are making their way off the field. Terrific performance from Brighton. But what will the Liverpool fans make of this, Rob?
Yeah, Brighton were fantastic. Brilliant performance. Gifted the goal. That's the only blemish from Lewis Dunk in the performance from Brighton to a man. Not a flicker from the Liverpool fans behind the goal, not a flicker from the players at the full-time whistle. This was a performance where you're saying, what are we going to get? What are we getting in terms of consistency? This is what we were asking before the game. We don't know what we're getting from Liverpool. This adds to it. It was just a performance void of confidence, void of direction, and void of real man management and management of a game there from the manager.
The Brighton players are celebrating in the sunshine over on the far side with their fans. They move up to 8th in the Premier League. They're on a great run. 4 wins from 5, 2 points behind Brentford in 7th. But Liverpool miss an opportunity to move into the top 4. Who wants to finish 5th this season? Liverpool have slipped up again. Brighton 2, Liverpool 1.
And just on Brighton, Ellen, because I think that's important here, really. As John says, they're now within 2 points of Brentford. They've played a game more. You go back 6 weeks, and the criticism that they were getting, and he has turned that round as Fabian Herzl.
He has turned that round. It shows his commitment, you know, the culture, who he's brought in, that experience, that leadership. Amex, you know, for them, the fans there, the stadium looks absolutely rocking. But he's relied on his players, he's turned things around, and they're pushing for Europe now. They're in great form. And I think credit to him and the players and their commitment together to what they want to achieve this season. And they've put in a big performance. And they've made Liverpool look average this afternoon.
I think in there, Mark, as well, sorry, there's just a nuance off the pitch as well. He's fallen out with a number of these players at the training ground, away from the games. He's left players out of squad for disciplinary reasons. And he's turned around and gone, you're either on this boat, you're either on this train, or you're not. Now, all of a sudden, he's getting performances out of players. Yakubu Mensah was one of them. And he's got a man-of-the-match performance out of this today. What a turnaround from some of these guys.
If I gave you £1 of Ian Dennis's money, would you put it on Liverpool qualifying for the Champions League?
Oh, not at this rate, no. I was just looking at the fixtures then, and you've got Manchester City next in the FA Cup. And I just looked at the game after and I thought, oh my word, what are they going to do to Liverpool if that Liverpool turns up? Paris Saint-Germain away. I mean, honestly, if they go and play like that in Paris, it could be 10-0. That's how bad Liverpool were today. Brighton weren't clinical, tried to walk it in. But PSG will be clinical. They'll absolutely tear them to pieces. It's very, very worrying at the moment for Liverpool.
So that is what next. So they've got City in the Cup and then Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League before they get back to Premier League football. John, Rob, thank you very much at the Amex. They've also got a Merseyside derby as well in the middle of April. They've still got to go. I mean, their finish is terrible, is Liverpool's. Yep. They've got to go to Old Trafford, then they're at home to Chelsea, then they're at Villa, and then they're at home to Brentford. So they've got all the teams around them as their final 4.
Can I have my £1 back?
Yes, you can.
Or Ian Dennis's.
Yeah, you can have it. You can have Ian Dennis's £1 back. Ellen, Stephen, thank you for your company this afternoon as well. Fulham against Burnley. Next up, that's our base. All the goals as they go in England and Scotland with Ian and with Michael Brown alongside him. Let's switch to the Rugby Union. Gallagher Prem is back after the Six Nations. Bath absolutely thrashed Saracens last night. 9 tries in a 62-15 victory. Northampton could go back to the top this afternoon. They're taking on bottom club Newcastle. James Burridge at this one.
What a statement from Bath last night, Mark. Yes, Northampton looking to go back to the top if they win today. They're averaging 39 points a game at the moment, but it's been 8 weeks since their last Prem match. They're also missing a lot of their England stars. You might have seen Henry Pollock has been enjoying himself in Barcelona, watching Barca this week. Tommy Freeman's in New York. No Fraser Dingwall or Finn Smith. They've been rested too. They've actually got some big injuries. Alex Mitchell and Alex Coles both out for at least a month, but they do have George Furbank starting. It's been baffling why he never played for England in the Six Nations. He'll be key today. As for Newcastle, well, it's their first game for Stephen Jones, who replaced Alan Dickens as head coach this week, and for Brett Connon too. His 150th match at fly half.
So you'll be able to listen to that on Sports Extra 2 if you want to. On Sports Extra, it will be Exeter against Sale. On BBC 2 this afternoon, Warrington against Castleford. Chris Cooper there for us.
Sports so often the greatest unscripted drama, but given Castleford's injury problems, hard to see anything but a home win today, and probably a comfortable one too. Imperious so far, Warrington the only side other than Wigan to have a 100% record. They're a game behind them though because of Hull KR's World Club Challenge. They should have been playing that week. They had the luxury last week of a Challenge Cup tie against Goole here, so an early rest for a number of players, but the big hitters are back today. Among them, good to see Matty Ashton back for his first game in 10 months, 314 days after an ACL injury. Decent crowd building in the sunshine for Warrington against Castleford.
So BBC Two, if you want to watch that 10 minutes from the 3 o'clock kickoffs, we'll rattle round all of our featured games after James Wickham and the news.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The Ministry of Defence has accused Iran of reckless behaviour after it emerged that Tehran had targeted a British-American base on Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean. Reports say 2 missiles were fired and they both failed to reach the site. The target is nearly 2,500 miles from Iran. Nearly 1,500 UK mortgage products have been withdrawn since the start of the war. New figures reveal that almost half of them have been pulled since Thursday, when the Bank of England decided to hold interest rates. One analysis shows the average 2-year fixed-rate mortgage is at its highest level of the past 12 months, affecting those remortgaging or trying to get on the housing ladder. The number of cases in an outbreak of meningitis has risen to 34, with all infections to date confirmed as being connected to Kent, where it's believed to have started at a nightclub. 2 people have died because of the infection. And one of the world's biggest bands, BTS, have made their comeback at a concert in the South Korean capital, Seoul. The 7 K-pop megastars were performing together for the first time in nearly 4 years after completing military service.
A group of men ran in with machetes. I'm Livy Haydock, and from BBC Sounds and BBC Radio 5 Live, this is Gangster, the story of Georgie Pye.
The scene of the killing near a Chinese bookshop is being flooded with detectives.
Welcome to the world of the triads.
If the triads are coming out of you, you're done.
Where loyalty is sworn in blood. Gangster, the story of Georgie Pye. Listen first on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sports with Mark Chapman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Brighton 2, Liverpool 1 in the early game. Just the one 3 o'clock. Ian Dennis.
2 changes for Fulham. Muniz and Castagna coming in for Jimenez and Tete. As for Burnley, they're unchanged.
And now already today in the Championship, Blackburn 0, Middlesbrough 0, Ipswich 1, Millwall 1 and Derby 1, Birmingham 0. Leaders Coventry in action at 5:15. They are at Swansea. Kicking off at 3, Hull are in 5th. They're wobbling a bit. They've lost 3 of their last 4. They're at home to Sheffield Wednesday, though, who are still searching for their second win of the season. Shojo Saka.
Yeah, until very recently there was talk of Hull City challenging for the top 2, an automatic promotion, but their excellent form of December and January has waned. It's actually only 3 wins in 9 for the Tigers, so beating the already relegated Sheffield Wednesday feels like a must for Hull today. Paddy McNair replaces the suspended Charlie Hughes in defence. As for Wednesday, they've gone now 33 matches without victory. They did draw 2-2 with Hull though at home on Boxing Day, and today they are looking to give them another bloody nose.
Now Southampton have won 8 of their last 11 to go into the playoff places. Today's opponents, Oxford, have found form too, but they're still in the bottom 3. At St Mary's for us, Will Perry.
An instant Premier League return for Southampton certainly wasn't on anyone's bingo cards a few months ago, but they are surging up the Championship table under the guidance of their former under-21s boss, Tonda Eckert, who got the main gig in November after Will Still was sacked. Since then, he's taken Southampton from a place above the relegation zone to a playoff spot on a run of 11 games unbeaten in the league, 8 wins, 3 draws. As for Oxford, they start the day in the bottom 3, but they're in a mini purple patch under Matt Bloomfield. The last 4 games, 10 points from 12, with Portsmouth and West Brom looking worryingly over their shoulders.
And now Wrexham are outside the playoff places on goal difference. They're taking on Sheffield United, who've gone 3 without a win. Sani Rajavajal at Bramall Lane.
Yeah, Blade season petering, but given the start this season, stability under Chris Wilder can't be snipped at. For Wrexham, their brilliant run dinted, losing 2 in 3 out of the playoffs, but ready to pounce on any Southampton slip. Impressive Man City loanee Issa Kabore returns at wing-back. Sam Smith leads the line. And for United, Patrick Bamford got a double in this reverse fixture. That was a defeat. His total stands at 10. Gus Harmer supports him in attack.
Thank you. Next, Watford, who's just about have an outside chance of getting into the playoffs, taking on a Leicester side who desperately need the points at the bottom. Becky Ives.
Yes, Watford have lost just one of the last 4. It's moved them just 5 points off the playoffs, and they're looking for back-to-back wins for the first time under manager Ed Still. Just the one change for the Hornets. Foremost, Mendy comes into the back line. As for relegation-threatened Leicester, interim manager Gary Rowett has said he's looking for players he can trust consistently as they hover 2 points off safety in 23rd. 4 changes for them today. In comes Ricardo Pereira, Patson Daka, Jamal Lascelles and Harry Winks. Out go Ben Nelson, Hamza Chowdhury, Jordan Ayew and Divine Mukasa.
West Brom's first win in 2026 last time out was enough to get them out of the bottom 3 there at Bristol City. Mark Webber.
Welcome to the meeting of the mediocre. Bristol City haven't won here in 4 games. Visitors West Brom haven't won away in 16 league games. However, Bristol City could still get into the playoff chase, and as you said, Mark, Hull win could spark a consistent push away from the relegation zone for West Brom. 2 changes for Bristol City. Neto Borge and Tommy Horvat replaced the bench Cameron Pring and Sinclair Armstrong. 1 change for West Brom. Josh Griffiths in goal for an injured Max O'Leary.
Portsmouth just a point above the bottom 3. They've lost 4 of their last 5 and are at QPR today. Jonathan Ledgard.
2 of the most unpredictable, inconsistent teams in the division. That Portsmouth run of form you just mentioned, clearly worrying, but Rangers, just 3 places higher, have exactly the same record. Their season's probably been saved by last week's extraordinary win at Leicester, but they've been utterly toothless here. Lost the last 3, conceded 9, scored just 1. Surely encouragement for Portsmouth, even more so with John Swift fit to return. Rangers are unchanged.
Let's go into League One. Earlier, 2 draws. Luton 1, Stockport 1. Cardiff in second, 0. Blackpool 0. So that result means Lincoln could go 7 clear at the top. They're at home to Rotherham. Sam Ashew.
It's a case of when, not if, Lincoln City get promoted to the Championship. The Imps are unbeaten in their last 21. That's a club record. Michael Skubala makes 3 changes to the side that drew at Huddersfield on Tuesday. Rotherham were reeling after a midweek 5-0 defeat at Peterborough. That saw Matt Hamshaw sacked. The experienced Lee Clark takes over a mere 3,067 days since his last managerial role.
Into League 2 earlier, Cambridge 1, Salford 0, and a surprising result as second place MK Dons were beaten 3-1 at home by Barnet, which is good news for the leaders Bromley. They could go 5 clear now at the top if they beat Colchester. Paul Scott.
Yeah, they'll fancy their chances of doing just that as well, chappers. The Ravens unbeaten at home all season. They're unbeaten anywhere in 20 matches. A second promotion in 3 seasons, very much attainable for the Ravens right now. They're taking on a Colchester side who start the day down in 13th place. Despite that, Danny Cowley's side are only 6 points off the top 7.
Into the Scottish Premiership. Hearts have led the way since September, but if they lose at 3... and Rangers beat Aberdeen at 5:45, then Rangers will end the day top. Ailey Barber's at Tynecastle watching the home side take on Dundee.
Good afternoon, where the mood is buoyant. The belief is still strong at Hearts, despite a stutter of late losing their last 3 away from home. On their own patch, though, they are unbeaten in the league. And when you arrive here, you walk through the players' car park, and I have never seen crowds gathered around there like they were today. Flags, fans lining the street, and the good news for them is the return of a couple of key players. Cammy Devlin starts, while Lawrence Shanklin could add to his 15 goals from the bench. It'll be a tough test against an informed Dundee managed by former Hearts captain Stephen Presley.
Elsewhere at 3 o'clock, Falkirk, St Mirren, Kilmarn at Livingston and Motherwell against Hibs. It is a cloudless blue sky in West London. This is the only Premier League 3 o'clock, but all the goals in England and Scotland as ever, with the fastest goal service around from Craven Cottage for Fulham against Burnley. Michael Brown and Ian Dennis.
Thank you, Mark. Well, as you know, 5 Live Sport is more than just about the top flight, and that's why this Saturday goal service is such a joy to do. We're in the final straight in the various promotion races in the Football League, and we have the key games covered. And today, 5 Live final score is available on the red button, the iPlayer and the BBC Sport website. But Mark is right, it is a glorious day to be down by the Thames. The clear blue sky, the sun is shining brightly, and Fulham in all white are prepared to take on a Burnley side that have unchanged from the team that drew against Bournemouth. They form a huddle, not in the centre circle, as they wander across to acknowledge the travelling support but just on the edge of the penalty area ahead of this game. What are you expecting, Michael Brown?
Well, it's an interesting situation, is it, for this Burnley side to our left-hand side, obviously fighting for their lives. It looks like it's impossible, that's for certain, but they've showed some signs of improvement. But for this Fulham side, what are they going to be? Where are they going to finish? They've got real quality. They can play to a very high standard here at the Cottage. It's a wonderful place to come and play football. Sensational with the new stand. The pitch is perfect. I expect Fulham to take control, but we might see a braver Burnley.
Well, I wasn't available last weekend, but I'm told that it was not what you would consider a Lancashire hot pot. It wasn't vintage, I don't think, was it, from what, by all accounts?
No, it certainly wasn't. I'm surprised you opted out, but this is going to be a decent game, I can tell you that.
Well, it's almost as if we're watching rugby union, because from the kick-off, James Ward-Prowse has just deliberately put the ball out of touch. So I hope it's better than that.
So that's why do you want to sign? Because we can just use your wonderful right foot to put it into the stand. He's got more to give than that. It's a bit surprising, but I see why they do it. Want to set the tone, want to get into a forward position. Foul early.
Fulham are all in white. They are defending the Hammersmith end away towards our right. They're playing from right to left, so they're attacking the Putney end of the ground, for those of you who know Craven Cottage. And they have Leno in goal, a back four of Castagna, Bassi, Anderson and Robinson, Berger, Iwobi, Wilson, King, Muniz and Bob. So that's two changes from the side that played against Nottingham Forest, with Muniz and Castagna coming in for Tete and Jimenez. And Burnley are unchanged from that Bournemouth game. Dubravka in goal, a back three of Esteve, Laurent and Humphreys. The wing-backs are Walker and Hartman, Hannibal, Ward-Prowse in the centre of midfield, with Foster and Anthony looking to support Fleming. And in the claret shirts and the white shorts, Burnley are playing from left to right here on BBC Radio 5 Live, and we're available too on the BBC Sounds app. As Burnley have got a throw in front of the Riverside stand, that very impressive Riverside two-tiered stand on that far side, level with the penalty area. Hannibal keeps the ball in play and comes back to the edge of the penalty area. The shot was blocked. Ward-Prowse quickly passes the ball out. Anthony then will deliver the cross over the head of Foster, laid back by Humphreys. And Burnley will get a corner kick inside the opening 2 minutes, near side the right.
Yeah, good start. You can obviously see that they want to pin this Fulham side back, and it's about set pieces, opportunities, crosses into the penalty area, good sweeping ball right to the back post. As you said, Humphreys has tried to take a touch. I felt, could he find an opponent, but it was cleared wide. All zonal, no one on the post here for Fulham. You know you've got quality with this man on the ball. Can he find decent one on point for Burnley to shock a few early on in the game?
So Ward-Prowse to take the corner kick near side the right. The right arm goes aloft. It's an outswinger, and it's deep into that penalty area. Three Fulham players both go for the same ball. It's headed out. Now Iwobi will pick that ball up on the edge of the area, and his cross, or his forward ball, takes a deflection, and it goes out for a throw.
Yeah, Fulham will be looking to get some control, start to move it around. They're actually quite comfortable out of possession at times, and then they jump out very, very quickly. You know what Wilson's been about on that right-hand side. Now they've got Oscar Bob available for diagonal balls. It's a really good battle, hasn't it? Kyle Walker, Oscar Bob right in front of us here, Deno. That's a key talking point, but Burnley will have a go today.
Humphreys with a back pass. Wilson races towards Dubravka, and Dubravka, all in green, puts his right foot through that. So actually, I said a back three, it's a back four, isn't it? With the two central defenders of Humphreys and Esteve, and Lauren in the midfield. And Wilson is still walking back from an offside position, and Esteve will go back to Dubravka in the Burnley goal. One clean sheet in their last 41 Premier League away games. They've conceded each of their last 25 since they actually won here 2-0 in December 2023. Just another one of the reasons why Burnley will be going down. It's surely only a question of when rather than if, as they're 9 points from safety with 8 games left to play, including this one. 0-0 in the early stages. Northampton, Newcastle in the rugby. James Burridge.
1 minute gone, Northampton have their first try. Archie McParland after a wonderful break by Litchfield, who linked with Furbank, and Bello adds the extras. 7-0, 2 minutes in.
Here is Iwobi coming forward. Hannibal goes to approach him, and then Berger, against his former club, just touches the ball back towards Bassi.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? You come up against your former teams. I had quite a few. It's a strange feeling. You always want to produce and perform wherever possible. You want to win it. But Fulham now finally getting a few passes, finally getting a bit more confidence. But Burnley are going after them.
I had a feeling today that Sander Berger, or I have a feeling that Sander Berger might actually score today. He's not scored in his last 89 club appearances, but his last goal was for Burnley against Fulham. And I just thought it might be a little quirky that if he was to end that long goal drought since December 23 for Fulham against Burnley.
Who could argue with your tips? You're renowned.
Mansfield are leading Northampton by a 1-0 in League One. It is 0-0, 5 minutes played. And here is Iwobi, running forward over the halfway line, looks for Robinson, high up the pitch on this near side, quickly closed down by Kyle Walker, the former England international now, Kyle Walker, after retiring 96 caps that he played for his country. Fleming. Bassi will just run and hold off the run of Fleming and allows Anderson to tidy up as it goes all the way back to Leonard. Wigan Athletic are leading Exeter by a 1-0 at the Valley in the Championship. Norwich City have taken the lead against Charlton. Southampton are 1-0 up against Oxford United, and Shrewsbury 0, Crewe 1 is the latest score in League Two. Talk about that goal at St Mary's. Here's Will Perry.
Yeah, and it's a brilliant goal for Kyle Larin, who's tapped in, but he did really well to get to the stretch on it, and it's a Fellows who puts it on a plate on the break. Southampton, they lead Oxford United by a 0-0.
And we welcome listeners to the BBC World Service wherever you are in the world. It is a pleasure to have your company here at the banks of the River Thames in West London. Clear blue sky, sun shining brightly. There's a ball floated diagonally out by Hannibal. Will reach Anthony, keeps it in play down by the corner flag on that far side as Burnley play from left to right in their claret shirts, white shorts and sky blue socks. But 0-0 against Fulham as Anthony touches the ball back and then gets the return, and Anthony now bursts into the penalty area left-hand side, pulls it back. Fleming was there, they're appealing for a handball. The referee, incidentally, is Chris Kavanagh. Of course, VAR would have a look at that.
He hits it clean, you know, and his arm's on the floor and it is blocked, but it's weather, so he's already laying there, he's already in the position as the ball travels, but they will be having a little look. Good play, wasn't it, down that left-hand side from Burnley. A little 1-2. We've seen Anthony just pull it across, and we'll see.
They've started the game quite brightly, haven't they, Burnley?
Yeah, but they've been, you know, Fulham's out, isn't it, down the left-hand side. Bob just goes inside and Robinson just comes really late. Good runs, really good. I really like him. He's not had as good a season as you would have expected this year. He had a few injuries, etc.
We'll go to Queen's Park Rangers now. Jonathan Ledyard.
We're just up the road from you. We got a goal for Queen's Park Rangers. Very much surprising because they normally concede first, but today Paul Smith, edge of the area, rifling past Nicola Schmidt. Suddenly Portsmouth are in trouble. QPR 1, Portsmouth 0.
Thank you, Jonathan. Fulham are attacking. King looking for Wilson, easily intercepted by Hartman, the left back, and he pushes that ball down that left flank, and Anthony races onto it, now looking to try and exploit that gap. Anthony enters the penalty area, cuts inside, checks back again, gets the right-footed shot away, but it's blocked, and then Anderson can head the ball forward. But Burnley get it back, and here is Ward-Prowse. Ward-Prowse able to turn. Iwobi goes towards him. Burnley go back, and Humphreys will go back to Dubravka on the edge of his own penalty area. Michael.
Yeah, Anthony's done really well down the left-hand side. So initially Hartman just getting out, and then there was space. Castagna recovered. Obviously he was the change today for Fulham. Tete, I think, has got a foot injury. But yeah, excellent from Burnley so far. You're saying, have they got any fight when you're in this position? It must be awful when you know pretty much your season's over, that you want to fight and keep going, and it's always about being as professional and, you know, just setting standards for your own game, for your own, I don't know, for your own teammates, but it must have been tough the last few weeks for them.
Well, yeah, more like months rather than weeks. One win in 21 since the start of November. Crewe 2. So Crewe are now leading at Shrewsbury by 2-0 in League Two, and you're up to date with the goals as they go in. Here is Robinson. Fulham playing all white from right to left as we look 9 minutes in. Try at Northampton in the Rugby Union. James.
And it's come from Newcastle Red Bulls, Ollie Leatherbarrow. First phase ball, great line, running full tilt, equalising under the post. 7 points all, 7 minutes gone.
Commentary of that is on Sports Extra 2, the streaming service through the BBC Sounds app. Exeter's Sale is live on Sports Extra. As Iwobi forward, Bob with his back to goal. Fulham playing, attacking that, putting the end of the ground. Berger, Anderson, every outfield player now is in this Burnley half, but Hartman steps out of defence. He tried to win the ball but then loses it, and Fulham get it back. Bassi to Iwobi, forward ball cut out by Walker. It was a tight and compact Burnley defence and restricting Burnley, but then they can't get down the field and they give it away. That was good work off the ball by King, who's now able to turn. Diminutive, just outside the penalty area, runs forward but faces a sea of claret shirts, and then he's drawn out to this left-hand side, and Foster helping out Burnley, and Walker will try and play it down the line to Hannibal. Trying the Rugby League, Chris Cooper at Warrington.
Yeah, dream return for Matty Ashton for Warrington, out for 314 days. He's gone over in the far left-hand corner. The kick's not gone over from Ewan Irwin. He was successful with an earlier penalty. Warrington in control. They lead Cast 6-0.
Notts County 0, Cheltenham 1, Notts County 4th, looking to try and close the gap on the teams above them. MK Dons and Cambridge, who played earlier today, but Cheltenham have taken the lead at Meadow Lane, and Wycombe Wanderers are down to 10 men. Taylor Allen has been sent off. They're away at Leyton Orient 0, Wycombe 0, but an early dismissal in the 9th minute for Wycombe Wanderers. We've been playing 11 minutes here in the sunshine at Craven Cottage, the only Premier League game at 3 o'clock, but match the day tonight, 10:30. We'll have the games from the Amex, Brighton, who've beaten Liverpool by 2-1, Everton Chelsea, which is our 5:30 commentary, and Leeds United Brentford that gets underway at Ellen Road at 8 o'clock. Another one of Michael Brown's former clubs. He played 44 times here for Fulham as Hartman runs away on that left-hand side and looks to try and marshal the ball safely out for a corner kick, and succeeds.
Yeah, they've started really well, got intensity. Wilson we haven't seen, is somebody who's had a wonderful season. I'm looking and seeing the diagonal passes there. Joe, when you went to the last break there, you seen Hannibal drive through the middle, the space was there, and you left and went somewhere else. I thought that tells you something about the Burnley attack, because they didn't have the sort of conviction to go and play the next pass to go forward. You've seen it, we see it. That's the next step if they're going to go and try and win the games.
Well, they might try and score here from this set piece. It's that far side, the left. It's going to be an in-swinger from James Ward-Prowse again. Plenty of loft, delivered deep towards the far post. But the referee, Chris Kavanagh, has spotted an infringement and will give a free kick to the home side. So Fulham looking to complete the league double over Burnley for the first time since 1950-51, when Bill Dodgin was the manager in Division 1. I bet you did a bit of dodging down here at your time at Craven Cottage.
Yeah, I did, yeah. Had to go back to the Northwest, unfortunately, but had a great time, great club. It's a great place to play here, you know. It's just the tradition, it's on the river, there's something about it, the friendly club is still there now, which is great to see when you come back. And I think it's one of those, isn't it? I was speaking to a few Burnley players just before, and you're like, this is some place to play football, and it is. It's a really top quality football club with big decisions to make.
Yes.
Starting today, but the manager is the huge talking point.
Yeah, I've got to say I had a pleasurable walk down by the river from Hammersmith earlier on, just taking in the sunshine under the clear blue skies as we go back to Will Perry for another goal at Southampton.
This is an absolute screamer. Southampton 2, Oxford United 0. It's got to be 30 yards plus. It's Shea Charles, completely unmarked. No one thinks he's going to shoot from there. Got to be one of the goals of the season, if not the goal of the season. Curls in the top corner. Southampton 2, Oxford 0.
Oxford United had staged somewhat of a mini revival, if you like, in the relegation zone, but 4 unbeaten before today. But Southampton are looking to go 12 unbeaten and now lead by 2-0. 0-0 here. 14 minutes played. Leno, Berger actually comes off his goalkeeper to take it right in front of him and now trots forward from that, just outside the D, reaches the edge of the centre circle and wants Bassey to come to the side of him on the left. And now here is Bassey and Robinson down the line. Looks for a first-time cross. On the run, Dubravka watches that one and claims it with both hands.
They do that so well, right? There's a little trigger, so there's the way midfielder takes the ball, centre-back in Bassey joins, and already as you switch it on, they just take Oscar Bob inside to move the full-back, and then they slide Robinson. He's so quick, and they get him in. That's certainly something that's on build-up. You've got to be aware of it. Here it is again now. What do you do if you're the wide player? You don't want to run all the way with him.
Bob comes short to get the ball. He crosses off the chest of Muniz, and then the volley left-footed. Wouldn't necessarily sit for him, would it? And left-footed, he's put it over the crossbar. Goal kick 0-0.
Yeah, good ball into the centre. He takes it on his chest, central, just outside of the penalty area, and then he doesn't disappoint. He's had the nod today. We've seen obviously good performances from him. He's missed so much football. He hasn't been fit this season. He's only got a couple of goals, Deno. He's not really seen the lights of what was expected. He got a run last season, and Broja, who's on the bench, who was here at Fulham, he come and got his place then, and he was under pressure and he's kept it. Jimenez as well as the support network, but good opportunity.
The Scottish Premiership, Hearts today have got an opportunity to go 5 points clear of Celtic if they can beat Dundee. It's 0-0 at Tynecastle, but in the Scottish Premiership, Falkirk are leading St Mirren by 1-0. Hannibal has gone down here for Burnley, and referee Chris Kavanagh has given the go-ahead for the two physios to come onto the field of play.
Yeah, it's just having a little look. They're not in a rush, are they? I mean, it's a head injury and they're jogging over. I'd be sort of thinking, can you get here a bit quicker, just in case?
Well, I'm glad that you said that, and not me. It was, he's actually, I think it was an awkward fall, but he's actually, looking at it again, he's gone down holding his hamstring.
Back of his hamstring, yeah. And you can see his hand's on his head for that reason. He's tweaked something. Physio's left hand is just having a look. But he doesn't even want to move it. You know, times when you see a player down, they go and test it quite quickly. And whether this is an injury that he's had for some time, he's not moving his hands away from his face. It's not looking ideal, is it?
It's not. Notts County have equalised, incidentally, at home to Cheltenham. Notts County 1, Cheltenham 1, and also in League 2 at Priestfield. Gillingham are leading Bristol Rovers by 1-0. Hannibal still hasn't moved. Scott Parker is actually taking opportunity of this break in play just to gather in a few of his players and give them some instructions as well. As we will go to Tynecastle. I mentioned Hearts playing Dundee. Ailey Barber.
Still goalless at Tynecastle. It's been a good game of football without too much to test either of the two goalkeepers. Just some late team news for Hearts. Captain Craig Halkett injured in the warm-up, so he misses out. Michael Steinvender starting for him today. Still Hearts 0, Dundee 0.
Now in League 1, second place Cardiff drew 0-0 in one of the early games against Blackpool. So Lincoln City have got an opportunity to go 7 points clear at the top. They're at home to Rotherham. There's been a goal. Sam Ashew.
And it's gone to Lincoln in. Lovely ball played through on the left-hand side, and it's Rico Hackett who finds space and blasts it through the hands of Ted Cannon, the Rotherham goal. Lincoln 1, Rotherham 0.
Lee Clark was named as interim manager until the end of the season. The former Newcastle and Sunderland player at Rotherham during the week. Grimsby Town pushing for the playoffs. We're leading Barrow by 1-0. Barrow bottom of League 2 without a win in 7. As we go to Hull City in the Championship, Shojo Saka.
Hull 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Hull striker Ollie McBurney had a good chance from about 7 yards out, tried to place it, really well saved with his chest by Wednesday keeper Piers Charles. At the other end, Jaden Heskey almost played in Jerry Yates. The cross was well blocked. Hull 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
No surprise that Hannibal hasn't been able to continue. He is walking extremely gingerly and very slowly in front of us with the two physios either side. He's been replaced by Leslie Ugochukwu, who has come on for Burnley. Falkirk 1, St Mirren 1. So St Mirren have got an equaliser in the Scottish Premiership. Back to Chris Cooper at Warrington.
One-way traffic, Warrington 14, Castleford 0. Matty Ashton with his second try of the afternoon. This was one converted by Owen, and that to add to a penalty he just struck over as well. 14-0, it's a point a minute.
Thank you, Chris. There was a VAR check that we were completely unaware of, as picked up by Wilson, cuts in on the left corner of the area, gets the ball back from Berger, in fact bypasses Wilson, Castagna now. Wilson is going to shoot this time! Oh, that would have been a spectacular goal. He must have been close to 30 yards out, left-footed. It was on the rise. That wasn't that far away. 0-0.
We were just waiting for him, weren't he? He said, get the ball to him. He just pushes it out left-footed. Does it catch the cut? No, it just goes wide. I just didn't know if it just caught the support just behind that top corner. He hits it so clean, with confidence, right across it. That technique, that backlift, that arm comes out. The shape was brilliant. Rising towards the corner. You believe he's going to do something now, don't you? When he gets the ball, keep getting it to him.
Incidentally, that penalty check, we're in the 19th minute. It was for the one after 7 minutes, where there were strong appeals for Burnley, but they stuck with the referee's call for it was Calvin Bassett, as Robinson dispossesses Foster and runs forward, and it's a strong run on the left-hand side. Now, was he barged over before he could cross the ball? Robinson isn't happy with the challenge from Foster. It's picked up by Dubravka in the Burnley goal. 20 minutes played, 0-0.
Do you know what? Again, Robinson goes all that. I said, it's the last person you want to be against, don't you? Foster, he goes all the way. And as he's about to cross it, I think really that's good defending. He's got to do it, just nudges him to take the pace off the ball. He got away with it, but he has got the job to keep following it. It's a frustrating one. He'll want to get forward, try and create, try and score, but he's got to just stick to task. Lovely ball across. That left-hand side's open here for Burnley.
Laurent turns, passes the ball out towards Anthony, comes off the left touch line in the shadows of that Riverside stand. Hartman will give it back to Anthony. Looks to go on the outside of Castagna, but Castagna is back goal side. 6 yards up from the byline on that far side, the Burnley left. The cross now is delivered. Fleming with the header. And he's tried then at the second chance to handle the ball and push it in, because his initial header was saved by Leno. Tell you what, that was a wicked ball in from Hartman.
It was a fantastic ball. He whips right into the centre of the 6-yard area, and you see Fleming. It's almost a chance you've got to score. It's like a half sort of diving header, and then the goalkeeper saves it, and then he dives into it. I think he puts his hand right in towards his throat, or something into the goalkeeper's throat. That's why he stays down. A huge opportunity, point blank, anywhere else it's a goal. Big save.
Yeah, he didn't catch it cleanly as he was diving from Leno. And as it sort of like spilled loose, he did try and reach with his hand, but in doing so, he missed the ball. And then Leno has gone down holding his
right
throat.
Hand, wasn't it? Like a choke on his right hand.
Yeah.
On his...
Leighton Orient are leading the 10 men of Wycombe Wanderers by 1-0 in League One. As where will we go next on 5 Live? And it's to Sani Rudravajula at Bramall Lane in the Championship.
And it's Sheffield United 0, Wrexham 0, but 2 huge opportunities for Blades. First, Patrick Bamford allowing it to go to his favoured left foot, and that meant he hit it wide from 11 yards out. And then Burrows on his weaker right from just 6 yards out, going wide too. Sheffield United 0, Wrexham 0.
Wrexham need to win that. They're level on points with Southampton, but as we know, Southampton are 2-0 up at home to Oxford United. Castagna running away on that far side, the right. And the getting back was Anthony, charges it down, concedes the corner kick to Fulham. Midway through the first half here on 5 Live Sport, and it remains 0-0. Fulham have a corner.
Yeah, the first time we've seen him down the right-hand side. Castagna going all the way to the byline, and I said the importance of the wide players of Burnley. Anthony on this occasion. Wilson, that hand up now, is looking to swing the ball in centrally.
Corner kick on the right. Bit of a stuttering run up from Wilson. It's an in-swinger. At the far post arriving was Castagna. But it was always going away from him, and all he can do is succeed in knocking the ball behind for a goal kick. Hull City, Sheffield Wednesday. Goal, Shojo Saka.
Yeah, trouble for Hull City. Hull 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1. It was Jamal Lowe receiving the ball in a crowded penalty area. Little spin and a prod with his right foot into the corner. Really nice finish. Hull 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
20th of September was their last win. 33 matches without a victory for those Sheffield Wednesday supporters who've got so many concerns about their club, who of course are already relegated, -6. You would hope that they could get into credit with the sanctions that they've had to deal with, just to give them a little bit of respite. Motherwell are leading Hibs by 1-0 in the Scottish Premiership. It's 0-0 here in the Premier League as Foster charges forward on this near side, the right. Does try and keep the ball in play, battles for it. Robinson, though, and helped out by Oscar Bob. Ugachukwu tries to win it back and wriggles away from Bob on the right. And It will go behind for a corner kick. There's a goal at Vicarage Road. Becky Ives.
Leicester 0, Watford 0. Tell you what, it's a game that's been very stop-start. We've had 2 players down for a long period of time. Both have carried on, and now the referee's just gone off down the tunnel. I'm not entirely sure what for, but Watford 0, Leicester 0.
Hull City have equalised. Hull City 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1 in the Championship. That lead didn't last for long at Hull. And before the corner kick can be taken, we'll wait with the corner kick, then we're going to go to Queen's Park Rangers, where there's been another goal. Jonathan Ledgard standing by, but it's 0-0. 24 minutes played here, and Burnley on this near side, the right, have the corner kick that Ward-Prowse is going to take. And Fulham have got every white shirt back inside the penalty area. Again, it goes deep, headed out, and then Iwobi will head it further clear. Jonathan Ledgard at QPR.
Another goal for Rangers. They lead Portsmouth by 2-0. It's another long-range goal. Where was Nicholas Schmidt? Answer, nowhere. Collie doesn't care. Rangers are happy. It's all gone very quiet at the Pompey end. Rangers 2, Portsmouth 0, 25 minutes gone.
That Motherwell goal has been disallowed after VAR, so the back goalless at Fir Park between Motherwell and Hibs. Still goalless here. No other goals to tell you about, but we will get details of that equaliser for Hull City from Shojo.
Yeah, Hull 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1. They go straight up the other end and get that equaliser. It was Kyle Joseph with a lovely cross from the right. Put it on a plate for Matt Crooks to just tap in from 3 yards. Hull 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
25 minutes in, Fulham have got a corner kick. Iwobi's going to take it. Burnley now have got everybody back inside the penalty area. And now it's taken short, and it's with King. Back towards Iwobi, passes the ball. Wilson and Mark places it, parried by Dubravka. That was a well-worked routine. And then an ambitious effort from inside the Burnley half is well off target. Bernd Leno was well out of his penalty area. How can you leave Harry Wilson and Marks?
Because what they did, it was really clever actually. They went short. Oscar Bob moves inside and then they just play it towards the edge. Wilson just steps across. You know he's going to get clean contact. Dubravka sees it late, just manages to push it away. An audacious effort, was it? Was it Anthony who tried to lob the goalkeeper from his own half?
Forward again of Fulham. Castagna enters the penalty area right-hand side, crosses the ball, only partially cleared. Castagna back towards Wilson. Oh, and he just tried to place it. That would have been an excellent goal. He knew exactly what he was doing. He's leant back. It's come to him first time. And left-footed, he's just seen it drop over the crossbar.
Yeah, great effort. There might have been an offside, actually. Castagna down the right-hand side, and then it sort of comes back to him. And I think he's in an offside position. They don't use it. And then he just tries to float it, flick it right to the far corner, drifting over. He's so good in those tight areas. He's asking for a corner. Referee says no chance.
Goal at Ashton Gate in the Championship, Mark Webber.
Bristol City 0, West Brom 1. The game's come alive 25 minutes in. A Callum Stiles corner on the right-hand side. Found George Campbell on the rebound to stroke it in. Bristol City 0, West Brom 1.
Huddersfield Town have taken the lead at Home Park in League One. Plymouth Argyle 0, Huddersfield Town 1. Here is Iwobi in the centre circle. Ward-Prowse, I think, has caught Iwobi in the face with a flailing arm right in front of the referee. A stoppage in play. Back to Warrington, Chris Cooper.
Warrington 20, Castleford 4. The fight back is on. The first time they've got within 10 yards of the Warrington line. Sami Valemea going over the line. That after Ben Curry had scored a third try for Warrington. Another successful kick from Irwin. Warrington 20, Castleford 4 with the kick to come.
Notts County have come from behind. They're now leading Cheltenham by 2-1 at Meadow Lane. That will be of interest to Cambridge and MK Dons supporters as they make their way home after the early games in League Two. Cambridge unbeaten in 9 after beating Salford by 1-0. But MK Dons saw their 14-match unbeaten run ended by Barnet losing at home by 3-1. From Rugby League to Rugby Union, James Burridge.
Plenty happening here. Northampton leading by 14 points to 12, but injuries all over the place. The latest, George Furbank, only just come back playing rugby for Northampton. He's gone off with a head injury. Sammy Arnold has got a yellow card for Newcastle. Northampton back in the lead, 14-12.
We're almost at the half-an-hour point in this game at Craven Cottage. Burnley supporters who've travelled in good number. They've only got probably, I'd say, a third of that stand away towards our left as Robinson volleys over a cross and Castagna can't get there, put off by Anthony. It'll be kept in play by King on the right. King will run forward down towards the byline, plays it in low. Wilson with a turn and shot. Bob was trying to get a scramble there, couldn't quite get hold of the ball. Burnley dig it out, but Fulham have got it back. This is Bob. Little dink ball by Wilson out towards the Norwegian, formerly of Manchester City. Bob will play it back to Wilson, infield to Berger, touches the ball to Iwobi. He threads it through and goes all the way through to Dubravka. And back to Jonathan Ledgard at Queen's Park Rangers.
The team which couldn't score for ages has suddenly got 3 in half an hour, and it's the second for Paul Smith. Portsmouth defence completely unravelled. Through he ran. Nicholas Schmidt, goodbye. Rangers 3, Portsmouth 0.
Kilmarnock at 1, Livingston 0. Ball forward to Moniz, couldn't get onto the end of that through ball, and it runs to the feet of Dubravka, all in green. 0-0, Michael Brown.
Yeah, there's been some good opportunities for Fulham. They started to put more pressure on that out ball. Robinson's on all day long as he puts the balls into key areas. A couple of efforts. Wilson just trying to turn, get his shot away, blocked again. He's come alive, and Oscar Bob started to make runs in behind, inside positions as well, causing problems. And the tempo, the energy levels, the quality is just starting to rise for Fulham. They have started slowly. Full credit to Burnley so far, but Burnley have got to get hold of the ball again.
Here is Berger, out to Anderson. Midway through the Burnley half is Iwobi, quickly passes the ball into the penalty area, left-hand side for Robinson. First attempt of a cross was blocked by the legs of Walker, comes back to Robinson. Iwobi now outside the penalty area, scoops the ball forward, headed by Robinson, and then stretching to head the ball away was Humphreys, and Kyle Walker, under pressure, loses it to Robinson, then wins it back, and then tries the little flick. Two former Manchester City players come together there in Bob and Walker, and it is Walker who wins that particular duel, and then he hits it long, and Anderson should tidy this back towards Leno.
Yeah, Walker just couldn't get out of his feet. He sort of tried a little trick, didn't come off, but his strength, like Bassi just done it a couple of times now. Do you know, for young players, this is a chance. Unlucky, good diagonal ball, but do you know, for like younger players, when they're watching and they think, right, they've got to tackle with the feet. Bassi a couple of times, he just used his arm and stopped Fleming getting anywhere near it, just for the right position, nudging him away. That's what Walker did as well, just to get out of trouble.
I wondered today what attire Scott Parker would be wearing on his return to Craven Cottage. Would he go for the Scott Parker cardigan? Would he go for the lumberjack shirt that Pep Guardiola was sporting recently? But he's gone very, very sharply dressed in a suit on that far side. But he had a mixed reaction, didn't he, as he made his way out onto the pitch from the tunnel away towards our left earlier on?
Yeah, he did. He got a lot of stick as he started to walk across. There was quite a few boos, and I think you did a good job over here. I was just wondering, did you come as a security guard?
I've come casually dressed. It's a very pleasant day in London. It's not one to be wearing a lumberjack shirt or a cardigan.
Just a nice plain crisp white one.
Yes, it is. It's just a white shirt to match the white shirts of Fulham. I thought it'd fit in quite well. 12 minutes to go to half-time. 0-0. Here is Bassi. I'm sure Pep Guardiola will be suitably dressed for the League Cup final tomorrow, which you'll hear live on BBC Radio 5 Live. A 4:30 commentary live from Wembley tomorrow, but we've got Tottenham against Nottingham Forest before that at 2:15. Such a key game down at the bottom in that relegation battle in the Premier League. Forest 29 points, Spurs just ahead of them on 30, but Burnley are right in the mire in between Wolves and West Ham. Here is Berger to Iwobi, midway through the Burnley half. Just over 10 minutes to go to the break. Anderson. King turns, but again, Burnley have dropped back behind the ball and making it very, very difficult for Fulham to try and find a way through. As now they lose the ball, and Anthony can dart forward, and he carries the ball and then checks back, drifts a little bit in field. From that left-hand side, support comes from Ward-Prowse, back to Hartman, 10 yards inside his own half, and now Estep will go all the way back for Dubravka. And again, I'm thinking about your earlier comment, when they do go forward, that lack of conviction to progress, they get, I don't know, midway through the Fulham half, and then they stop and turn and go back.
Iwobi does well, right? So it's good tracking back, midfielder, direct run towards goal. But if I'm the attacking player, I've got to take him out, I've got to go across his path. I've got to get into a middle area or we're never going to score. Fulham, you will feel, will do something. They will create. You'd expect them to score a goal here. Burnley have got to keep coming. They've done OK, you know. They've done OK. They're bright enough. Busy, trying to look forward, and then it's just a touch safe in that front line.
Here is Estef for Burnley. Nice gentle pace. Fulham have dropped off, and Burnley are just quite happy to knock the ball in that middle area of the field.
Well, like I said, Fulham will do that,
0-0.
Deno. Fulham will do that, and all of a sudden they just jump out really quickly.
There's been another goal at Sinsel Bank involving the league leaders of League One. Sam Sk.
Yeah, Lincoln City 2, Rotherham 0. It all starts with Rico Hackett on the right-hand side. He finds some space, pulls it back for Ben House. Shot was blocked, but it trickles over the line. It's all too easy for the league leaders. Lincoln 2, Rotherham 0.
Michael Skubala has done an exceptional job at Lincoln City. They're unbeaten in 21. They're looking to extend that to 22 and also go 7 points clear of Cardiff, who were held today by Blackpool.
Amazing, sensational job.
Oh,
it's incredible.
Here is Humphreys. Sold Walker a little short. Walker dropped to one knee, prodded it back towards Ward-Prowse. Laurent now takes over. Bottom of the table, Port Vale are leading Bolton Wanderers by a goal to nil in League One. Bolton 13 unbeaten, third in the table, but Port Vale have got that goal at Vale Park, and there's no other goals to tell you about. A reminder, 5 Live final score is available on the Red Button, the iPlayer and the BBC Sport website this afternoon. But 10 minutes to go to half-time, and it is still 0-0. And Wilson he's gone close on 3 occasions. We've had a diving header forward by Fleming. Not a bad game at Meadow Lane in League Two. Cheltenham took the lead. Notts County came from behind, were leading 2-1, but Cheltenham now have levelled 2 apiece then at Meadow Lane in League Two, and 2 balls on the pitch here in attempt to try and get us a goal.
So we've seen this before, haven't we, where now, I think we've seen it, there was, I think it was Luke O'Nien at Sunderland at Leeds, and there was another ball, and he tried to kick it into the path of the breakaway to stop it. The referee went over and gave him a yellow card because... But isn't that the same there, where Fleming knows that the ball's in play, he picks the ball up and goes, right, I'm going to throw it in just to stop it.
And he succeeded in doing so, because Chris Kavanagh, the referee, had to intervene, play back underway.
Dark arts, they say.
Yeah, you'd know all about the dark arts. What was your record? Do you know it?
What we're talking about yellow cards by any chance?
I was talking red.
7.
8.
I should have had 18, if I'm honest.
Ooh, talking of which, the referee's trying to let the game flow because there was a lunging challenge by Laurent that caught Wilson. Referee's Chris Kavanagh's done a good job there to play the advantage, and Fulham will prosper. They're attacking on the right. Now they're appealing for a handball. But Chris Kavanagh will give the corner kick. It'll be checked by Stockley Park. The VAR is Nick Hopton. Meanwhile, he's looking around, I think, for the offender.
Josh Laurent got right across to him.
Yeah. This is if he shows the yellow card, this will be good refereeing, because he let the game flow, did Chris Kavanagh, and there it is. And he has gone to book the Burnley midfielder. He waited, he watched, played the advantage, and now the stoppage has shown the yellow card to Josh Laurent.
King, as he went to push the ball across, Josh Laurent come across the block, and it hit his hand as well as it went out of play, and he's having a little look there. Yeah, Wilson got caught.
Well, the corner kick hasn't been taken as yet, but it looks like it's been given the go-ahead, so VAR isn't going to show a penalty for those penalty appeals from Fulham, but they would have checked it. 0-0. 8 minutes to go to half-time. In-swinging corner. Met forcefully and headed away by Fleming. Robinson. Ball knocked by Iwobi. It was a hurried pass by Iwobi, wasn't it? And it goes out for a Burnley throw.
So we see all these signs, don't we? Do you know about players when they go to take a set piece? Wilson's got that arm up, and then all of a sudden he's had to do like the cancel sign, that he can't do what he wants with the players, and he just thinks, right, I'm just going to stick it straight into the penalty area. They almost get caught out, actually. Burnley were quick to go and press it. You know, an opportunity now as Walker just goes back, tries to create build-up. He's under pressure, the goalkeeper.
Shahid Khan, the Fulham owner, is here today. Of course, question marks still persist over the future of manager Marco Silva. Offered that deal in November. His contract still expires at the end of the season. What will happen regarding him? Harry Wilson, of course, his contract is up at the end of the campaign as well. So many question marks for the Fulham supporters to ponder about their key player and their manager, as there's been yet another goal at Queen's Park Rangers. Jonathan Ledgard.
This time it's for Portsmouth. Is this the start of a comeback? John Swift, snapshot, edge of the area, no real chance on. First shot on target as well, but is this a chance and a change round? Rangers 3, Portsmouth 1. We got it 7 minutes before half-time.
a matter of miles away, whatever is in the air, if Jonathan could just sort of like send it in our direction, as we have yet another 0-0 currently involving Burnley.
Well, I think we know that that's their game plan, isn't it? To stay as tight as they can. The manager built that in the football club, didn't he? On the promotion, he was criticised, but he got them there. But to take a clean sheet right throughout the start of the season when they weren't good enough.
Yeah, they had 30 clean sheets last season. They conceded just 16 goals in the championship. As Robinson with a cross from the left, Walker drops to one knee, heads it, controlled header out of the penalty area, and then Berger goes to Anderson. But that goalless draw against Bournemouth was their first clean sheet of 2026 in 14 games, only their second in 24, and only the fourth of this Premier League season, as Berger trundles the ball and then out towards Iwobi, Castagna, Wilson. With the exception of Fleming, every claret shirt is back behind the ball. Newport County are leading at Walsall by a 0-0. Newport County looking to drag themselves away from the foot of League Two. Here is Muniz with a turn and shot, block, they appeal for handball again. Once more, there must have been 5 Burnley players in that penalty area. Barrow, who are now bottom, remember, are losing. So Newport looking to take full advantage with that scoreline at the Bescott Stadium. Ironic cheers of handball now from the Fulham supporters as they come forward. Berger out to Castagna, unmarked, floats over the cross, and Foster dropping back into this left-hand side. Well, he went to let it go out of play. Robinson, though, has kept the ball in play with a cross, and then it's off the thigh. It bounces away from Ugo Chukwu. Berger tries to win it back. Counter-attack, though, as Ward Prowse, of all people, is the one chugging his way through the midfield. Rolls away from one challenge, helped out by Foster, but the South African international was never in full control of the ball, and Fulham were able to tidy up back towards Leno. Becky Ives at Watford now.
Oh, Pat Sadaka has just had a penalty saved for Leicester. It remains Watford 0, Leicester City 0.
Here is Iwobi, edge of the area. Pace of the game has picked up. Bob flicks it out towards Iwobi. Wasn't expecting it to come back so quickly. He was a little on his heels, and it's gone out for a goal kick. 4 minutes to go to the break. Fulham 0, Burnley 0.
Lyle Foster just in line with the penalty area. He thought the ball was out, and he just waits, leaves it. Robinson then down that left-hand side needs better quality. He's had lots of options on his crosses. Oscar Bob as well now, just trying to create, trying to wait for the overlap. He's got so much ability, that young man. He's got to have more confidence, got to take the ball. Josh King, we haven't really mentioned. He's just had a couple of chances, a couple of flashes. So there's 2 exciting young players. We've just got to do a touch more if the Fulham are going to take the lead in the game.
Third place Bolton then are losing at Port Vale in League One. The team behind them, Bradford City, who've lost 8 of their last 10 away games. They've fallen behind at Burton Albion, managed by the former Bradford manager Gary Bowyer. Burton 1, Bradford City 0, but Grimsby have got a second goal at home to bottom of League 2 Barrow. So Grimsby Town 2, Barrow 0 is the latest score at Blundell Park, as we check in Warrington Castleford with Chris Cooper.
2 tries in 5 minutes for Kalepi Tanganoa in the corner have given Warrington a further boost. They're comfortably in front here. They've got to have this one before half-time. It's 32-6 against Castleford.
Here is Wilson for Fulham, playing from right to left, 0-0 against Burnley. As King makes that little run out towards the right side. Berger is behind him. Again, Burnley working hard off the ball. Anderson gives it back towards Berger, and Burnley are forcing Fulham back. Now inside their own half with Anderson. Berger's ball inside towards Iwobi now. Right side of the centre circle. Invites Bassi to come forward, and the Nigerian international then finds Bob, who's able to turn, and back then towards Iwobi, looking to try and probe. What are you pointing
Just looking at Lyle Foster, look at, he's almost got to play as a full-back. That's how high Robinson is. He's shaking his head, he'll be so frustrated, but...
Wilson with a cross in the penalty area. Tucked in was Walker. And then Foster has missed the volleyed attempt of a clearance, and it will go behind for a goal.
I think that's
kick.
a foul, right? Because I think he nudges him as he goes to kick it. Just that little tiny nudge. Chris Kavanagh has to know the difference there. He's right in a dangerous position, on the byline, in the penalty area. I think he's got to stay safe, the official there. And this has been a discussion, hasn't it, for so many times about VAR, about making decisions, help, relying on different obviously decisions behind them. Just make the decision there. That's a foul.
Wimbledon have taken the lead at home to Peterborough United. Wimbledon are leading Peterborough by 1-0 in League One. Just over 60 seconds remaining of this first half. Walker lifts it downfield. A leaping Bassey will head it out of play for a throw on this near side, the right. Burnley are in no real hurry to take it. Walker is just sauntering his way down, level with the penalty
throw,
area.
isn't it? You're thinking long throw, take a chance right in the last minute. Deno, this will be a time for them to score, that's for certain. They're in no rush whatsoever.
We're going to have 3 minutes of stoppage time. We're currently inside the last 60 seconds, and it is 0-0. And right up against this main stand. In it goes now, headed out by Muniz, headed back by Ward-Prowse on the edge of the area, and then cleared by the Fulham defence. Drops towards Anthony, back to Hartman, and then Ward-Prowse in the centre circle will hit the ball forward. And Humphreys has stayed forward, and Walker tries to put pressure on Bob, but that was a nice take. Good close control by Oscar Bob. And then Bassey, with the interception of Ward-Prowse, wins it back for Burnley. Humphreys to Ugochukwu on the stretch. They're keeping the ball, as we will very soon see those additional minutes to be put up by the fourth official, Craig Pawson, on the far side, as we go for another goal at Sincilbank with Sam Ashu.
Yeah, this one's wrapped up before half-time in Lincoln 3, Rotherham 0, and it's Rico Hackett, a long ball into the box, causing all sorts of problems. It bounces to Hackett, who places it into the back of the net. 3-0 to Lincoln.
I heard Mark Chapman earlier pose a question to Stephen Warnock, and he said, if you had a pound of Ian Dennis's money, would you have whatever particular bet it was? If you had a £10 of Mark Chapman's money, because he earns more than I do, would you have a bet on a goal?
More than a few.
Would you have a bet on a goal in the second half?
Well, I hope so. That's all I can say. I certainly hope so. With that throw-in going wide, nobody touching it, it doesn't tell a real story, but you would expect a goal. I'm surely there's going to be. Fulham will go for it. They won't just sit back and accept it. So there you go.
Well, the man in question will be here very soon to take you around the grounds at half-time. BBC Radio 5 Live. And he'll in fact be presenting Match of the Day as well, 10:30 tonight, BBC One, for all the highlights and the analysis from the games. As Walker, midway through his own half, Humphreys is available, and here he is. Ugochukwu, triangular passing patterns from Burnley. And now this is with Laurent coming forward. Just turns on the inside of Robinson. Ugochukwu takes over.
It's just a little, I've seen that real quality, but it's going to have to fall for him. Josh Laurent does so well. Play the ball to Fleming over the top. You thought about it. And they're working hard, aren't they? It's just that bit of quality at this level is something that they just can't get over the line. They try to recruit, they try to make a better team. Troyer in question, they spent a lot of money on. Didn't work out. He's on the bench, and he knows this football club. You talk about players coming up against former clubs, etc. Would he be one?
It feels clunky, doesn't it?
This game?
No, I'm thinking more when Burnley go forward.
Yes, it's not smooth. You can see they're that far stuck in their shape, trying not to get beat. And it's not for the sake of not trying to get into the areas. They just haven't looked clean. They haven't looked like they can go and string a couple of sharp movements in, and then the full-back gets round, or the midfielder makes the run past the defensive line. And that's been really something that's lacked all season. A little bit naive, a little bit lacking. It's not the effort, it's not the determination from the players.
We're inside the last 60 seconds of the additional 3 minutes. It is goalless, as Ward-Prowse hits a rather aimless ball downfield. Reared up, actually. It was quite awkward for Bassey to cushion header it to his left-back, Robinson. And then Walker on the halfway line, tried to pass it back to Humphreys. Muniz with the interception running forward, but then Walker doubles up and helps out Humphreys. And then Burnley concede the throw that they'd look to try and take quickly, but I'm not too sure that Chris Kavanagh is going to allow much more time to be added on. The 3 minutes by my watch have already elapsed, so we're really at his discretion now, the match official. It's going to be the last bit of action of this first half, and Robinson right up against the advertising hoardings, leaning back, now runs forward up the little bank. The little flick on gathered by Dubravka, and indeed there is the half-time whistle. Michael Brown 0-0.
Yeah, the long throw came in, they didn't disappoint, but just flicked off Walker. You know, for Burnley's good start, they were bright, they pushed Fulham back, and it took a while for Fulham to gain any momentum or any possession, but really it was a big chance, wasn't it, from Burnley, that left-footed cross, Hartman into the penalty area, 6 yard out. It's a half-diving header from Fleming's, got to score into the ground, comfortable for the goalkeeper. We've finally seen Wilson with a couple of lovely strikes. Robinson's been the key down the left-hand side for Fulham. You do feel, with the quality Fulham have, if they just go up a level, this should be too much for Burnley. There is fight, there is determination, but Fulham seem to be comfortable. Burnley at the top end of the pitch don't seem to have the momentum and the quality to really trouble Fulham.
So there we have it at half-time here in the sunshine at Craven Cottage. It is Fulham 0, Burnley 0.
Joe, it's a combined 540 minutes since either of them scored.
It's going well, isn't it? So if we were going to try and spend your £10 that he mentioned for the second half to gain a goal, but stay with us, believe, chappers.
Well,
it's going to happen.
Listen,
stay with
I'm
us.
staying here. I'm more concerned that you might not stay there. That's what I'm worried about.
We might pop off for a cup of tea or something, just to sort of ease our nerves of delivering the nation and 0-0.
Don't want to sound desperate, but please come back.
We will be back, I promise. And do you know what? We'll finally see if there's a hat-trick on Deno on mentioning Bournemouth. He's done it a couple of times, and you were really quiet at the start.
Thank you. Brighton 2, Liverpool 1. Earlier goalless to Fulham and Burnley still to come. Everton, Chelsea at 5:30. Leeds, Brentford is at 8 o'clock. Earlier in the Championship, Blackburn 0, Middlesbrough 0, Derby 1, Birmingham 0, Ipswich 1, Millwall 1. So plenty of draws for those teams in automatic promotion spot in Middlesbrough, or the playoff teams. So Hull could take advantage this afternoon. They're at home to Sheffield Wednesday. They were a goal down, then they equalised. What's happened now? Shojo Saka.
It is Hull 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1. I think we are going to kick off for a few seconds left in this first half. It was a free kick from the right by Paddy McNair. I think it's an own goal. It came off Dominic Iorfa's head. Ollie McBurney went off celebrating, but I'm pretty sure it's an own goal. We'll just see the replay there. But it's Hull 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1 with seconds to go till half-time. And
it has gone down on the video printer as a Dom Iorfa own goal. To St Mary's next, Will Perry.
Southampton 2, Oxford 0. The Canadian on loan from Mallorca, Kyle Larin, tapped to them in front from Tom Fellow's pinpoint pullback. And have we witnessed the championship goal of the season? Shea Charles with an absolute stunner from 30 yards, which curled with pace into the top right corner. Tonda Eckert's side looking to make it 12 league games unbeaten. Southampton 2, Oxford 0.
Southampton winning at half-time. Derby winning earlier against Birmingham just increases the pressure on Wrexham a little bit. Sani Rejavadjala.
It does indeed, and it's goalless here. Sheffield United 0, Wrexham 0. Patrick Bamford wide from 9 yards when through. Harrison Burrows 2, close range miss. And Gus Harman with a diving header. That was in, but offside. And Wrexham with their own headed chance wide by Lewis Brunt. They are chasing the playoffs, but they're not on it so far. Half-time, Sheffield United 0, Wrexham 0.
Ashton Gate next. Bristol City, West Brom. Mark Webber.
Bristol City 0, West Brom 1. The West Brom fans are in the shadows of the sun-kissed Ashton Gate, but their side has delivered an enlightening first half. The game lit up 27 minutes in. Callum Stiles on the corner from the right fell back to George Campbell, and he headed home. And in spite of a couple of more chances for the visitors, the locals booed Bristol City off the pitch at half-time, which is an indication of their contribution. It's Bristol City 0, West Brom 1.
Half-time whistle has gone at Hull, and they lead Sheffield Wednesday by 2-1 at the break. Great first half for the home side at Loftus Road. Jonathan.
Very much so. QPR 3, Portsmouth 1. Sunshine first half, really. 3 chances, 3 goals in the opening half hour. 2 for Paul Smith, his first ever EFL brace, and a third league goal of the season for Ryan Colley. Before Portsmouth, so tentative, so uncertain, without a hint of a shot on goal, John Swift suddenly found the net from the edge of the area out of nothing. It's asking a lot to draw level given their shot-shy attack, but Rangers' rearguard is not rock solid. For now, 3-1 Rangers.
Elsewhere in the Championship, Charlton 0, Norwich 1 at the break. Pella Matson with the only goal of the game at the Valley. They're still playing at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 0, Leicester 0. In fact, the half-time whistle's just gone. Becky.
As 8 minutes of added time tells you how stop-start that first 45 was, with just the one shot on target, and that was the Leicester penalty miss. Abdul Fatawu drew the penalty for the Foxes. Patson Daka stepped up, went low and to the right, but it was saved by Selvik, who got down and knocked the ball onto the post to keep the game goalless. That's about it. That's all that's happened. 0-0.
In League One earlier, Luton 1, Stockport 1, Cardiff 0, Blackpool 0. Cardiff in second, remember. Huge opportunity for Lincoln to go clear at the top, 7 clear, and they will do because they are beating Rotherham this afternoon. Sam Ashu.
By 3-0, Mark. It's been as comfortable as the scoreline suggests. The Imps first going down as a Ted Can own goal. The Rotherham keeper trying to keep it out. Rico Hackett's low-driven shot that was, but it sort of ricocheted off him and trickled over the line. Hackett was then involved in the second, cutting it back to Ben House's first-time shot deflected, but had enough behind it to bounce into the back of the net. Hackett did then get on the score sheet. His first shot blocked. It fell back to him. Easy finish from 8 yards out. Lincoln 3, Rotherham 0.
Yeah, not a great start for Lee Clark in charge of Rotherham until the end of the season. Elsewhere in League One, AFC Wimbledon lead Peterborough by 1-0. It's Barnsley 0, Doncaster 0. Bradford, who've lost 8 of 10 away from home, as Ian was saying during commentary, are behind again at the break. Burton lead by 1-0 there. Leyton Orient lead Wycombe by 1-0. Wycombe have been down to 10 since the 10th minute of that game. Mansfield 1, Northampton 0. Will Evans with the goal, 9 for the season for him. Plymouth 0, Huddersfield 1. Port Vale lead Bolton by 1-0. Stevenage 0, Reading 0. And Wigan, who have lost just one of their last 5 and have started to turn it round under Gary Caldwell, lead at the break against his former side. Wigan 1, Exeter 0. Joe Taylor with the goal there. Cambridge 1, Salford 0 was a result earlier from League 2, as was second place MK Dons 1, Barnet 3. So just like Lincoln in League 1, Bromley could extend their lead at the top of League 2 because of that MK Dons result. They're at home to Colchester. Paul Scott.
And they are being held. Bromley 0, Colchester 0 at half-time. A pretty even first half. It saw both sides hit the woodwork. Both goalkeepers make fine saves. Colchester, the visitors, well, they had the better of the opening. Payne, Anderson and Vincent Young all saw efforts saved. Williams sent one wide. Payne hit the post. At the other end, Nicky Kabamba's downward header was tipped wide. A brilliant save from Matt Macy before Charles hit the crossbar. Half-time, Bromley 0, Colchester 0.
Elsewhere in League 2, goalless between Accrington and Chesterfield, and Fleetwood and Crawley. Gillingham, who haven't won in 4 at home, do lead at the break against Bristol Rovers by 1-0. Grimsby 2, bottom of the table, Barrow 0. Great game at Meadow Lane. Notts County 2, Cheltenham 2. Isaac Hutchison has got both of Cheltenham's goals, takes him to 16 for the season. Oldham 0, Harrogate 0. Crewe were 2-0 up at Shrewsbury inside the first 10 minutes there. Tranmere 0, Swindon 0. And Walsall, who've got a dreadful home record at the moment, they haven't won in 8, are behind again at the break to Newport, who are in 22nd. Walsall 0, Newport 1. In the National League earlier, Woking 3, Aldershot 2. At half-time, Altrincham 1, Southend 0. Boreham Wood 2, Gateshead 0. Braintree 1, Scunthorpe 1. Carlisle trail at the break at home to Boston by 2-1. Forest Green Rovers 1, Wealdstone 0. Hartlepool 1, Eastleigh 0. Rochdale 2, Tamworth 2. Sutton 0, Truro 1. Yeovil 1, Morecambe 1. And York 2, Brackley 0. Rochdale and York are the two sides battling it out for automatic promotion. And with Rochdale drawing and York winning, they would both be level on 92 points with 7 games remaining. York have got a much better goal difference. Earlier in the WSL, these are all results. Arsenal 5, West Ham 0. London City Lionesses 1, Chelsea 1. Manchester City 5, Tottenham 2. Manchester United got an injury time winner to beat Everton by 2-1. Into the Scottish Premiership. Oh my word, it's another nervy afternoon at Tynecastle. Ailey Barber.
It is indeed goalless at the break. Hearts have enjoyed a lot of the ball, passed it around nicely, but they've rarely troubled the goal, much to the frustration of a packed-out Tynecastle. Kabori with the best chance, in behind, but his effort high and wide. Hearts have the lowest conversion rate in the league since the start of February. Dundee have the highest. They came closest. A good save from a free kick to deny them the opener. Hearts need to find a cutting edge, or they could be knocked off the top come the end of the weekend for the first time since September. At half-time, Hearts 0, Dundee 0.
They could, although as it stands, if Rangers were to beat Aberdeen at 5:45, it would take them to within a point of Hearts. If Celtic to win at Tannadice against Dundee United tomorrow, they'd go level on points. depending on the margin of victory, they could go ahead of Hearts. At the moment, their goal difference, Celtics that is 3 worse off. Elsewhere in the Scottish Premiership, Falkirk 1, St Mirren 1, Kilmarnock 1, Livingston 0. It's goalless between Motherwell and Hibs. In the Scottish Championship, Arbroath 1, Queen's Park 0, Ayr 0, Moreton 1. Goalless between Wraith and Airdrieonians. Ross County lead Dunfermline by 2-1. In League 1, Alloa 1, Inverness 0, Cove Rangers 0, Hamilton 2, Peterhead 0, Montrose 1, Queen of the South 2, East Fife 1. Stenhousemuir are a goal up on Kelty Heart. In League 2, goalless between Clyden, Stranraer and Dumbarton and Annan. East Kilbride 2, Stirling 0, Edinburgh City 0, Elgin 2, 4-1, Spartans 1. Into the Gallagher Prem at half-time. Quins are 14-7 up on Gloucester. Exeter lead Sale 19-7. And James Burridge is watching Northampton Newcastle.
4 tries, 3 yellow cards, Mark. Northampton leading 14-12, but to be honest, it's been a very scrappy affair. Newcastle have been impressive out wide. They've scored their 2 tries. They've been threatening, stretching Saints' defence. And Northampton, by contrast, well, their attack has stuttered. Not much cohesion. They picked up 3 injuries as well. To be honest, they're lucky to be leading this one, 14-12 at half-time.
Earlier in the United Rugby Championship, Lions beat Edinburgh 54-17. The games that are going on at the moment, Benetton lead Ospreys 14-5. Sharks 12-0 up on Munster. Warrington look already set for victory in Super League. Chris Cooper.
Yes, they lead Castleford by 32 points to 6. Thought this might be one-sided, but this is far too easy for them against an injury hit, but also ill-disciplined Castleford side. 5 tries in the first half, 2 apiece for the returning Matty Ashton and Kalefi Tanganoa, sandwiching one from Ben Curry, with Ewan Irwin kicking 6 out of 7 goals. Castleford's try for Semi Valamea, the only time they got within 10 metres of Wolves' line. Warrington outstanding for the most part, completing all their 21 sets and totally dominating possession, mainly inside Castleford half. Second half about to get underway when Warrington joined us on the field, 32-6 at half-time.
Exactly 4 o'clock, James Wickham has the news.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Iran has reportedly fired 2 missiles towards the joint British-American base on Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean. The base is more than 2,000 miles from Iran and raises new questions about the range of the country's missiles. An Iranian man and a Romanian woman have been charged after allegedly trying to enter the home of the UK nuclear submarine fleet. They're due in court on Monday after the incident at Faslane Naval Base on Thursday evening. The number of cases of meningitis linked to an outbreak in Kent has risen for the 5th day in a row and now stands at 34. 2 people died in the outbreak, which is believed to have started at a nightclub in Canterbury. More than 7,000 people have now been vaccinated in response. And nearly 1,500 UK mortgage products have been withdrawn since the start of the US-Israel-Iran war. Almost half of those products have been pulled since Thursday, when the Bank of England decided to hold interest rates.
On BBC iPlayer.
What you see, you can't unsee.
Everything from nightmare fuel.
There's a beast on this island! We've seen it!
We will have vengeance. To nightmare remedies.
It's okay, I'm fine!
Don't laugh at me.
What's catch of the day? You are, Alan.
From chilling drama to laugh out loud comedy. Wherever you stream, BBC iPlayer.
This is 5 Live Sports with Mark Chapman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Back to Craven Cottage shortly. Earlier on in the lunchtime game, Danny Welbeck got both the goals as Brighton beat Liverpool 2-1. Here's Arne Slot with Jonathan Pearce.
What went wrong in the second half for you?
No, I agree with you. The first half was an equal game. In the second half, they were the better team on the pitch. Created more chances than us, although we had 1 or 2 as well. But I think they deserved, especially if you look at the second half, to beat us. The margins are very small, as we've experienced a lot of times this season, because their goal was only 2 or 3 4 millimeters not offside. But yeah, that's the Premier League, and like I said, they deserved that goal more than us in the second half.
Is there anything else you could have done? You rotated players, you moved them around, you seemed to do as much as you could do. Was there anything more?
No, I don't think I rotated players because there's not a lot to rotate.
I meant actually positionally on the pitch.
Oh yeah, we had to change something because when Hugo was out and Mo Salah was not available and Alexander Isak is not available, then you have to play a player in a position where he's not used to, which we've had to do so many times this season, usually at the right fullback position, which was even today in the end the situation with Curtis Jones playing there. So yeah, that has been our season, and one of the reasons why we are struggling. But we're still in it, although we're not in a perfect position to qualify for Champions League. And of course we have two other objectives in the FA Cup and the Champions League.
Alan Shearer and Wayne Rooney will have their thoughts on that. Match of the day, 10:30 tonight on BBC One. Goals are on the iPlayer and the Sport website from 8 o'clock, but that extended highlights and all the in-depth analysis on Match of the Day at 10:30. You'll hear from Danny Welbeck during Sports Report as well. Right then, it is the fastest goal service around, and along with that there'll be the occasional bit of football commentary from Craven Cottage. I think that's the best way to sell it, Ian.
6 hours and 21 minutes since Fulham last scored a goal. That was in Wembley against Tottenham.
Also, do you know what? I was just looking about when the Premier League is next back. So next weekend's an international break. The weekend after is the FA Cup.
Yeah.
So the 11th of April, and there are 2 3 o'clocks then. So are you doing Burnley-Brighton?
Hopefully not.
Brentford.
He's got an easy life, hasn't he? Sappers.
Just Burnley all the way through.
You know, when I host this Saturday afternoon slot, I'm a hostage to fortune, because I mean, this is the only one today, but that sounds like slim pickings on April the 11th.
I've got a mate of mine who's a Burnley fan who's just texted to say, do you really have to go back to Craven Cottage? And he's a Burnley fan. All yours.
Thank you. Well, we're underway, and we've the Fulham supporters around us at the break. I had a bit of a conundrum today, because there was a gentleman who, Fulham incidentally, no changes from either side. Fulham are playing all white from left to right, attacking the Hammersmith end of the ground as Berger back towards Castagna. Anderson, Burnley in their claret shirts and white shorts. The ball is hoisted over. Foster will head it away, and then off the chest by Lauren, but Berger tries to win it back. I'll tell you about the conversation that we've had at the half-time in a moment, but first to more important matters, and Sani Rudavajula at Bramall Lane.
Where it's Sheffield United 1, Wrexham 0. Andre Brooks, after Okonkwo saved an initial shot from Bamford. Not good for Wrexham and their hopes for a playoff place. It's Sheffield United 1, Wrexham 0.
Southampton, remember, are still leading Oxford United at St Mary's. 0-0 here in this only game in the Premier League, as Robinson collects the ball, but because of Foster, he's got to try and get away from the South African international. Anderson passes the ball to where the ball came from, out on that left-hand side. Iwobi now in field. Wilson lurking just outside the D. They quickly tried to snuff out the threat from the Welshman. And now it is with Castagna, about 10 yards in from the right touch line. And King passes the ball to Calvin Bassey. But again, Burnley are well organised, well drilled, and looking to close down Fulham at every opportunity. Robinson, King darts forward, dinks over the cross. Anthony flicks it behind for a corner kick. 0-0. Michael Brown.
Yeah, good play down the left-hand side. Robinson, Bob started down the right initially. Wilson and Josh King, and then as the ball diverted forward, you've seen Anthony, great recovery. We've seen it from the wide players, haven't we? So far for this Fulham side, Foster and Anthony got to be religious with the recovery runs. Wilson just over the ball, goes short.
Wilson goes short to Iwobi, gives it back to Wilson. It's a left-footed cross towards the far post, well claimed by Dubravka. So as I was sitting here in the sunshine, watching the two teams warm up, there was a gentleman just sat in front of me, and I thought, that face looks familiar. And I could not place him. And I asked the supporters around us at half-time, I said, who is he? Anyway, they were talking, and I said, well, I'm not too sure. And then one of them said he was in Slow Horses. And it turns out it's Sean Gilder, who's a screen actor and playwright, who's here watching at Craven Cottage. And he was in Slow Horses in the series in Series 1. And there was a great quote from Gary Oldman in the recent Series 5, which I think every football fan at this stage of the season can identify with. It's not the hope that kills you, but knowing it's the hope that kills you that kills you. And as we go around the grounds, as the various goals are scored in the various situations, whether it be for promotion or relegation, and supporters travelling back from the early kick-offs, whether it be at Blackburn, Derby, Ipswich, Cardiff, Luton, Cambridge or MK Dons, whether the results have gone in their favour and your team has either won or lost, you're still clinging to the hope that kills you at this stage of the season.
I'm going to start crying. So sad. What an emotional speech. Do you know what? As soon as you seen him, you said he's I recognise him. I do see it. We're used to that at the grounds, aren't we? From the time you waved at Gareth Southgate. He said there was another famous fan who comes to this stadium. I did laugh when you told me because it was quite obvious.
Estev clears the ball away. Last time he was here, Hugh Grant, I saw him in the boardroom. Still 0-0 and still no sign of the deadlock being broken. Mansfield Town 2, Northampton Town 0 is a latest score in League One. Here is Iwobi for Fulham. Passes the ball with purpose, but it was easily intercepted by Hartman. The left back was just tucked in and able to step out of defence to get that clearance, but Fulham are looking to put pressure on that Burnley back line. But Burnley come forward on this near side, and Hartman linking up with Anthony, can't get the ball back towards him. 3 white shirts surrounded him and just squeezed out any threats. We'll go to Warrington Castleford in the Rugby League and Chris Cooper.
I think some of the Cas fans might be crying no hope for them, because Warrington have just gone over for a third try. We've had 7 minutes of the second half. They're on 48 points to 6 they lead. Curry with this one. Before that, Hopelati and Tanganoa completed his hat-trick. No hope at all for Cas. Warrington 48, Castleford 6. Kick to come.
BBC Radio 5 Live, also available on the BBC Sounds app, and we're across the world on the BBC World Service. It remains 0-0, and Castagna heads the ball back to Bernd Leno, all in orange, away towards our left-hand side, the mischievous Michael Brown.
Yeah, seeing Iwobi now just stretching it rather than taking the ball in the middle of the pitch. They're just trying to get a little bit on the angle, really high and wide, a little short pass there. You see now Fulham's setup is more adventurous. You see the difference, look, higher, wider, even the full-backs just trying to force now. Burnley on the back foot, and the middle zone is free. And then the triangles, little areas should go, and the diagonal pass is always on. Sanderberg now, the base of that midfield's looking for it.
Plymouth Argyle have equalised at home to Huddersfield Town. Plymouth 1, Huddersfield 1. Still goalless here at Craven Cottage. Berger, Anderson, forward along the ground. Muniz plays it quickly out towards Iwobi, coming in off the right touchline. Castagna offers the support, in comes the cross instead. Headed up by Estev, headed back, and it goes towards Wilson. Muniz left it for Wilson, and the flag was up anyway. And his right-footed shot was saved at the near post by Dubravka, but it wouldn't have counted anyway. There's been another goal at Bramall Lane. Sani Rodavagula.
Wrexham equalising. Sheffield United 1, Wrexham 1. It's the former Sheffield Wednesday man, Josh Windass. Ball square to him, and an easy finish. Sheffield United 1, Wrexham 1.
So we're going to be soon approaching 6.5 hours since their last goal for Fulham. Bristol Rovers have got an equaliser at Priestfield in League 2. Gillingham 1, Bristol Rovers 1. This is 5 Live Sport at Craven Cottage. We've got Everton-Chelsea to come at 5:30 with Conor McNamara and Pat Nevin. Then it's 6:06 as King coming forward, holds off the challenge, runs forward. King's done well, saved by Dubravka, and then a loose ball is put wide. Muniz. King did ever so well.
Right through the centre, they just couldn't get hold of him. He's just jinking, his low centre of gravity just moves so well. And then he just tries to poke it past the oncoming goalkeeper, then ricochets out. Muniz just waiting, that empty net just pushes it wide under pressure. A real good opportunity. Josh King, fantastic in the middle of the pitch there, causing Burnley all sorts of problems.
It was the legs of Dubravka that kept it out, and then it popped back quite quickly towards Muniz, and right-footed, he put the ball wide.
And that's 2 brilliant saves. Just got another look at the one before as well. It was sort of an unusual one. It dropped down, Oscar Bodd just put his foot out, and it was going right into that far corner. Strong left hand as he clawed it away. I know we've seen that the flag go up, but I think it was in the next phase for Wilson, so it was a big save from the goalkeeper.
The former Fulham midfielder, Michael Brown, the gentleman behind us, were talking about the poor nature of the game in the first half, and they actually said to me, they said, if only we had Michael Brown playing.
Yeah, it's very kind of him.
I think you must have used Mark Chapman's £10 to pay them to say that.
But he's got 20 today because he's got 2 shows.
That's a very good point. Here is Estev. When I said earlier that Burnley have only had 1 win in 21, 10 points out of 63, they did get that victory at Crystal Palace when they were 2-0 down, and let's not forget they claimed a point in a fight back at Chelsea. And they're looking to try and pick up a point, but
there's a goal coming. It's coming. It's close. to get the goal. You've just seen a good opportunities there. Can Burnley take a bit more of a risk? Can they commit? I think they might as well. When you're in the position you are, I know if you lose 1-0, does it matter having a go?
Yeah. Estef to Hartman, midway through the Fulham half. Hartman, the left back, gets it from Anthony. Return ball. And the exchange passes once more. Anthony midway through the Fulham half. Hartman's gone on ahead of him. And the two of them now work their way almost level with the penalty area on this near left-hand side. Playing from right to left. Now Ugachukwu, left side of the area. Looking for that bit of penetration as the cross then comes in from Anthony. It's easily dealt with by the Fulham defence, and Castagna then comes under pressure. Burnley try and press. Fulham, though, beat the press, but Walker tries to win it back. Now, was he caught by Oscar Bob? Yes, he was. No, it's Robinson, in fact, and it's a yellow card to Robinson, and that is going to be a direct free kick for Burnley.
There's the square pass. I mean, the Fulham crowd were getting edgy, and they played it out so well, even though the crowd are saying, get rid of it. Nice couple of passes, and then out to the fullback, but Walker gets across so quickly, he sees it coming, and when it's swept wide, he gets in front, and is he caught? He thinks he is. It's sort of the outside of Robinson's left foot. Just getting another little look now to see how bad it was. He pushes it into the space, and he does catch him on the ankle. Referee right on top of it, but from that calmness of playing out, the crowd, a little bit of tension, and one pass just short. Walker sniffed it out, got forward. Now an opportunity with someone who's so good technically in these positions. It's an awkward one. If it's the other side, you feel like he's got both sides to go at. It's going to be special if he beats the goalkeeper from here.
But he's more than capable. We know the threat that James Ward-Prowse can pose with a direct free kick. It is right of centre. It is, I would say, about 27, 28 yards out from goal. He's got the ball at the moment just under his right arm. The claret shirts of Burnley. There's only two in the wall for Fulham, so Leno should get a good sight of this. James Ward-Prowse places the ball down. There is a line of Fulham shirts inside the penalty area. It's not a long run-up from James Ward-Prowse. Right-footed, with pace, flick header away by Castagna. It actually wasn't an attempt on goal at all. He was looking towards Humphreys, who plays it to Hartman. Cross takes a deflection, loops in the air, and it's caught by Leno. And yet another goal at Queen's Park Rangers. Jonathan Ledyard.
Queen's Park Rangers 4, Portsmouth 1. It's another goal for Ryan Colley, and what a goal. I'll tell you, if there wasn't a net here, it'd be down the road with you at Craven Cottage. 4-1, QPR lead Portsmouth.
Back pass from Hartman. Dubravka sweeps the ball to safety. Fleetwood Town are leading Crawley Town by a 1-0 in League Two. And you're up to date with the goals as they go in on BBC Radio 5 Live and the World Service. Good atmosphere, at least.
Yeah, really good. We're just asking the team to come forward, play, a bit more excitement. That's better. He's got caught.
Berger caught in possession. Laurent passes the ball out to Foster. Challenge comes in from Robinson. Foster will get that throw for Burnley, level with the Fulham penalty area on the right-hand side, and he plays it, or throws it back to Walker, who nudges it away from Bob. Foster helps him out. Bob tries to challenge him. Ward-Prowse helps it back. And there is Humphreys on the halfway line, and because of the pressure of Muniz.
But they had three players in the forward line, potentially to go in the box, cross the ball, put it in there, take a risk, and then it's a poor ball. Just get it. So it's one extreme to another. There's a long diagonal pass, and he's got no chance. You see a Stev player left-footed forward. Like you said, it's just that ability to build. Do you know what? Is this on this Burnley side? This is it goes short here in front of it. They're playing out, aren't they? Fulham, confident. Yeah. Do you know, I was just looking and saying, like, is Scott Parker, is it one of those you set up so if you get beat 3 or 4, that increases pressure on you, so you stay in every game?
Castagna, that's the voice of Michael Brown, who's with us here at Craven Cottage. Fulham are now on the attack, edge of the area. Wilson enters the box. Castagna right-hand side of the penalty area, delivers a left-footed cross. Muniz with a header! Climbed early, climbed high. His header drops wide for a goal kick. Burton Albion now lead Bradford City by 2-0 in League One. Let's check in on the leaders of the Scottish Premiership. Tynecastle, Ailey Barber.
Still goalless here at Tynecastle, but the mood has been lifted because Lawrence Shankland is on the pitch for Hearts. 15 goals in his 26 games this season. He's missed the last 9. Can he be the difference maker in this title run? And still Hearts 0, Dundee 0.
Yeah, how they've missed him. Still unbeaten at home, incidentally, are Hearts. Rangers Aberdeen is 5:45. Dundee United Celtic is tomorrow at 12:30. Before today, 3 points just separated. Hearts 63, Celtic 61 and Rangers on 60. Oldham Athletic, who are going well in League Two, they're unbeaten in 8, are leading Harrogate Town by a goal to nil, and Walsall have pegged Newport back, so it's 1-1 at the Bescott Stadium. And there are no other goals to tell you about up and down the country. Here is Ward-Prowse. Feels more of an open game second half.
Yeah, it's opening a touch more, isn't it? But it's just that, like you say, that lacking of intent from Burnley. I was just going back to what I meant by that is they'd rather stay tight, 0-0, not really commit, than get a beat a few times each week. That's maybe the criticism. Are they being a little bit too safe, this Burnley team? I think they've got options if they want to open it up, they want to get forward a touch more, get an extra attacking player on. You know, they've got to get a win.
They're going to make a double change, it would seem. Activity on the bench on the far side. It looks like Samuel Chukwueze, the Nigerian who's on loan from AC Milan, is going to be one of the players coming on. Ryan Sessegnon possibly as well. Anthony for Burnley passes the ball out. Foster with the early cross. There's Fleming. First time finish, and Burnley take the lead. Well, relegation threatened Burnley. Lead at Craven Cottage. Fulham 0, Burnley 1.
Well, if you talk about supporters who've suffered behind that goal, the joy, the delight, the celebrations, they've been poor in the final third. I said they've got to take more chances, they've got to start pushing it into positions. But it's a cross down that right-hand side. Fleming has been a pest, he's been putting his body on the line, getting in around situations, but he's just waiting for an opportunity. He had that one in the first half, that header into the ground. But in this one from Foster, plays it early, doesn't take a touch, and he just sweeps it sort of 12 yards out, back of the sort of 6-yard area, into the bottom corner. A lovely finish. Finally, as promised, we've got a goal.
Didn't he take it well? Did it go down into the ground when he hit it first time right-footed?
It just sort of stops and like waits for the actual connection. That's what's really nice about it, is it just jumps in front of him. It's not the cleanest, it's more of a difficult one, but he's done enough, and now Fulham are going to have to come out and take a chance.
On the hour mark then, Burnley lead Fulham by a goal to nil, and he did. He hit it down into the ground. That's what gave it the lift. As the Burnley supporters are celebrating in that end away towards our left-hand side. Chukwueze came on to replace Oscar Bob. Sessegnon replaced Anthony Robinson as a left-back. As Mansfield Town 3, Northampton Town 0 is the latest score. Falkirk 1, St Mirren 2 in the Scottish Premiership. Chesterfield lead at Accrington Stanley 1-0 in League 2. Grimsby in that division now lead bottom of the table, Barrow by 3 goals to nil. Plymouth Argyle 2, Huddersfield 1 in League 1. And in the Championship there's been a goal at Hull City. Shojo Saka.
Hull 3, Sheffield Wednesday 1. It's Kyle Joseph. Lovely interplay with Ollie McBurney on the right. McBurney put it back into Joseph's path, and he finished left-footed, unerringly into the corner. Hull 3, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
Only 5 times this season in the Premier League have Burnley scored the opening goal. They've won 3, they've drawn 1, and then they lost 1. That was the game at West Ham. And when Fulham, they're going to have to now have a little bit of an injection, because the pressure is on Fulham here. Still, what is it now? 17 minutes, that's 6 hours, 38 minutes without a goal. Bit of quick maths for you. Iwobi. Supporters were grumbling at half-time. To lose to Burnley really would not improve their mood whatsoever. However, those travelling back to East Lancashire tonight will be buoyant from Burnley, leading by a goal to nil. Here is Wilson coming forward. Little nibble there from Hartman.
The referee, just play on. He's caught him, but there's a chance in a good position. Castagna, I just think, have a look at it and wait. Look at Wilson trying to play quickly. He's never going to let him.
Shrewsbury 0, Crewe 3 is the latest score in League 2. It would take Burnley to 23 points. They would still be 6 adrift of Forest, with 7 to play after today.
Who's he going to book there then, right? Because both of them catch him. What's he going to do? as an official, both of them catch Wilson on the travel. And that's why they both hurt themselves.
Well, he's waiting for Ward-Prowse.
But what you tell me how he's already off balance travelling because of the first contact. So Ward-Prowse obviously does catch him, but it's a strange decision, that.
Notts County 3, Cheltenham 2, in a real seesaw game at Meadow Lane in League 2. For fourth place Notts County, they are back ahead. Iwobi with a free kick, flighted towards the far post. Berger with a knockdown header, cleared by Burnley, headed back by Bassey, still inside the penalty area, and then volleyed away by Foster. Out of play it will go for a Fulham throw on this near side, the right. Try at Northampton in the Rugby Union, James Burridge.
Taken 20 minutes in this second half, but Northampton have a try through Curtis Langdon back after a long spell from injury. It's been converted as well by Anthony Bello. Northampton lead 21-12, 60 minutes gone.
King with a cross on the right-hand side. It was a pacey ball in. He was looking for the arrival of Chukwueze, but Walker, good awareness, just touched the ball behind for a corner, but Fulham have taken it quickly. A lot more urgency now from the home side, edge of the area. Wilson had a left-footed shot after the control off the right leg, but it was blocked by Anthony. Burnley continue to work hard as they protect this precious 1-0 lead.
Josh King did well down that right-hand side there. Castagne's going crazy at Chukwueze that he didn't get across. Walker on the back post, but the push forward, lovely little turn.
King in the midfield, going to get himself some space, links up now with Wilson, passes the ball to the left, 25 yards out, edge of the area. Sessegnon with a cross, and trying to get on the end of it was Castagne.
Great defender, wasn't it? Castagne just coming across, Walker takes the risk, sort of bumps him with his hips. Fulham are on the front foot here.
Barnsley 0, Doncaster Rovers 1. Here is King. One would have to question, where was this urgency and the tempo from Fulham earlier in the game? Why are they now increasing it only when they've fallen behind?
We've seen that so many times, don't we? Because it's about control. You believe that the possession, you will get through with your quality. Good defending again. But that's the one. We've seen it with the top teams, where they're patient, they're waiting, and everyone goes, well, they've got one behind now. Why don't they be ruthless? Why don't they get after him? If we had that answer, it happens so often, don't you think? Yeah. But why? It's still the question we ask.
It is. Burnley, who've won their last 3 visits to Craven Cottage. And bearing in mind that their first visit was in 1908. So those 3 successive wins is their best ever spell at Craven Cottage, which they are looking to extend.
What was the score in that?
They won 2-0 in the Premier League in 2021 and 2023, and they won 3-0 in an FA Cup tie in 2021.
Love it.
As we go to get the team news from Everton with Conor McNamara.
I'm glad he wasn't able to catch you out there, Deno. There is one change for Everton from their defeated Arsenal last weekend. James Tarkowski is back with Irabunum dropping to the bench. O'Brien will go to right back, Garner into the midfield. And 3 changes for Chelsea from their defeat against Paris Saint-Germain on Tuesday. 2 in defence, Gusto and Fofana in for Sarr and Chalobah. And Romeo Lavia makes only his 2nd Premier League start of the season midfield.
Fulham are level as we're away with Conor. The ball was just hoisted in, and Josh King, with his first goal in the Premier League, had 2 bites at it. Question marks about Dubravka. Josh King isn't complaining, and Fulham are level, and they finally ended their goal drought. Over 6.5 hours without a goal, and Josh King with his first Premier League goal in 33 games. He tried to hook it in first time, Dubravka couldn't claim it, it bobbled free, and there was King, just to snaffle up the opportunity at the second time.
Yeah, it was one of those curling crosses. Sander Berg just puts it toward the back post, and Dubravka comes, but he sort of hands towards his knees. But Josh King spins aerially, watching the ball over his head, and he just looks to get a touch on it, and then he sort of spills. The goalkeeper will be questioning, and then he just puts the rebound, sneaks it inside the post. It's a real big mistake from the goalkeeper. He's just done 2 great saves, but now it's game on. With Fulham just going to come quick. They feel like they can get another one quickly.
You'd have to fancy Fulham now. They're full of running. Chukwueze won't get there though. Ball played back by Humphreys to Dubravka. I think Dubravka knows it went through his legs. And What is that? 26 successive games in the Premier League now away from home without a clean sheet.
When it's not going for you, though, it's so unlucky as it bounces in behind him. But the goalkeeper feels there's going to be contact, and he just misses it, doesn't he? And I think that's just obviously you're waiting for the touch, and it just hits him on the knees. But it falls backwards. Good reaction though from King, just to have the instinct to put it in the near post.
And in fact, it is all Fulham now. They've got a corner kick. So that was their first goal in 6 hours and 43 minutes for Fulham. And now they're looking to try and bag another one, just like a London bus to come along. In the matter of minutes, Wilson with a corner kick. Anderson climbs, a little bit scrappy at the far post. Referee spotted an infringement, Chris Kavanagh. Free kick to Burnley, 1-1. And you were right, Michael. The goals would eventually come.
Yeah, see, we just had to wait, be patient. Dubravka falling to the floor. What's he saying? Is something happened? He gets under, we're going to get a look. There's a lot of people around him. He falls to the floor.
Yeah, but look at this now. This is, I think, this is a tactical timeout, because Scott Parker now, all the Burnley players have gone over, and this is something that the authorities are aware of, but it's very, very hard to try and deal with it. How do they stop it?
But have you seen, this is a good one, which I've not seen as well, right? Not every player. Hartman has come to the opposite side, so there's one player not in that tactical huddle. He's just on his knees, getting a drink, waiting. It's as if to say not everybody, he's just stayed out the way of it.
Well, the other outfield players are all having a word with Scott Parker.
You see, it's interesting how he went the other way.
Yeah.
All players were over across, and he went to this side. Is that something that people are saying regarding the tactical sort of delays?
But how many times, and it's very hard to prove, but a goalkeeper goes down, he can't leave the field of play, but Dubravka is still staying down. Let's just monitor and see how fit he is afterwards as well. They actually did check the King goal for a possible handball VAR as it dropped over him. That little swish of the right leg that seemed to deceive and divert the attention of Dubravka, and then at the second chance he knocked it in. So VAR did have a look at that. We've got a stoppage in play. It's Fulham 1, Burnley 1. We'll go to Tynecastle. Ailey Barber.
Hearts corner into the box, it's fallen to the edge, and it will be a shot by Blair Spitton. That's pushed away. That's as close as Hearts have come for a while. It is still Hearts 0, Dundee 0.
Notts County 4, Cheltenham 2 is the latest score in League 2. Crewe have just rattled in a fourth at Shrewsbury, also in that division. You're up to date. Dubravka is now only getting back to his feet as we will go to Southampton. Oxford United in the Championship. Will Perry.
Southampton 2, Oxford 0, much better from the visitors in the second half. Lancashire missed a sitter one-on-one with the keeper, and Southampton substitute Stewart denied by Cummings. Fellows with the rebound rattled the bar. Southampton 2, Oxford 0.
Earlier in the Championship, Blackburn Rovers 0, Middlesbrough 0. Middlesbrough were back by over 7,000 fans, but they've gone 3 without a win now. Derby County beat Birmingham by 1-0, and Ipswich 1, Millwall 1 was a full-time score at Portman Road. Ipswich 7 unbeaten in the Championship. We'll be rattling through all the latest scores for you very, very soon. We've got about 18 minutes remaining. It's 1 apiece here. Fulham have got a goal kick. Peterborough have just equalised at Wimbledon. Wimbledon 1, Peterborough 1 is the latest score in League 1. Commentary to come then with Connor and Pat Nevin. Everton-Chelsea at 5:30. After Sports Report with Mark Chapman. Results and reaction to come. 5 Live Sport tomorrow, live from Wembley ahead of the Carabao Cup final. Tottenham against Nottingham Forest with Jonathan Pearce and Paul Robinson. 2:15 kick-off. Villa West Ham, commentary on Sports Extra. And then Manchester City Arsenal in the League Cup final, the Carabao Cup final, live from Wembley at 4:30. Mansfield 3, Northampton 1. Northampton have got a goal back at Mansfield in League 1. Michael. Ball played out towards Wilson. Wilson controls the ball, edge of the area, unmarked, runs forward, comes inside, onto his left foot, and scores! Harry Wilson's fine form continues, and Fulham have come from behind, and they now lead relegation-threatened Burnley by 2-1. It's his 11th of the season. It equals his best return in a Fulham shirt. And Fulham are ahead.
Yeah, what a season he's having. Just swept out to him on that right-hand side, and then he sees the goal done. He steps inside that wonderful left foot. but the line's blocked for him. I'm waiting for that curler, but what he does, he goes one more across, and then he's thinking, right, just as he approaches that box, he's going to go right to the far post. But what he does, he flips it really early. He just flicks it near post. Goalkeeper's waiting for that one, that curling all the way around, a speciality from him. But he hits it quickly. Maybe the goalkeeper's unsighted as he's just been down. But a great finish. Special player for Fulham this season. If anybody was going to do it, it's right through body, through the legs, and also impeded the vision. Another defender in front of Dubravka, to be fair to him. But Wilson finds the corner.
Well, he is having his name sung here by the supporters. They absolutely adore him. And I'm sure he'll hope that his fine form continues next week in that World Cup playoff game, Wales against Bosnia and Herzegovina. We will have commentary of that on Thursday night on 5 Live Sport. Italy against Northern Ireland. You can listen through the BBC Sounds app to Radio Ulster's coverage. And then England against, well, it's Uruguay and Japan to come on Friday and the following Tuesday. And talking of a turnaround, we're going to Bramall Lane now in the Championship. Sani Rudravajula.
Where it's Sheffield United 1, Wrexham 2. A diving header from Sam Smith, cross from the right-hand side, and playoff pushing Wrexham up back ahead after being behind. Sheffield United 1, Wrexham 2.
Meanwhile here, Burnley, it looked like a lost cause. There was a throw down the right-hand side, so as a result, Anthony couldn't have been offside, and he's pulled the ball back from the byline. He's done ever so well, and then arriving, it was Josh Laurent running in, close range, couldn't keep it down, left-footed on the stretch, has put the ball over the bar. In fact, it must have taken a deflection because it's got a
Honestly,
corner kick.
what a touch this is, by the way. That's a certain goal.
Ward-Prowse with the outswinging corner, headed up by Anderson rather than away. Foster beaten in the air by Muniz at the back. Fulham lead by 2-1. Handball from Sessegnon. And that'll be a free kick to Burnley that they take quickly. Hartman touches it towards Anthony. I thought that ball might have been on the move. Anthony with a shot, saved by Leno.
Yeah, they play it really quickly. That's what I'm saying. You're going to ask me the same question, why they're not doing that before. But, no, they play it quickly, just spot the free kick. Anthony's away, just tries to get that strike, that curler far corner. Fleming comes across, goalkeeper down the left. He was obviously blocked in sighting, but there was no real pace on the ball. But the opportunity before, great run from Josh Laurent right from the midfield area. That throw, it's one of those where you just leave someone forward, and what a touch by Anderson to divert it wide.
So the Fulham supporters have to wait 6 hours and 43 minutes for the first goal, and then they've scored 2 in the space of 6 minutes as they lead 2-1. Plymouth Argyle 3, Huddersfield Town 1 is the latest score in League One. We're going to have to start rattling through the divisions very, very soon. So just notice there are 14 minutes remaining of normal time. Sports Report with Mark Chapman on its way on BBC Radio 5 Live. 5 Live final score today is available on the red button, the iPlayer, and the BBC Sport website. Match the day tonight, 10:30 BBC One. Foster keeps the ball in play over on that right-hand side, held up by Sessegnon. Burnley will get a throw right down by the corner flag. Ashley Barnes is going to be coming on. Edwards is going to be coming on. The players who will make way will be Foster and, well, it was going to be Josh Laurent, but I think they've had a change of heart at Burnley. And we'll have to wait and see. It'll be Ward-Prowse, actually, I think, who's going to be coming off. So that little late burst into the penalty area. In fact, here comes the double change for Burnley now. So Ashley Barnes, a real war horse, isn't he? Coming on in his second spell, the 35-year-old. He will come on. Foster is the player who goes off, and then James Ward-Prowse makes way as well. And so Marcus Edwards, who began his career at Tottenham, he'll
cause a few problems. Ashley Barnes, that's a guarantee.
And they've got a throw right down by the corner flag on that far side. They trail now by 2-1 after taking the lead. But nothing materialised from the throw, and King is able to run forward for Burnley. Then he was pulled back by Walker, was he? No, the referee says it's gone out of play instead. Walker wants to take it, but it was actually a Fulham throw. Gillingham 1, Bristol Rovers 2 is the latest score in League 2. And we'll give you the latest scores in the Scottish Premiership. Hearts, the leaders, still being held at home by Dundee, so their lead at the top over Celtic would just be 3 points. Elsewhere, Falkirk 1, St Mirren 2. Kilmarnock are leading Livingston by 1-0. And Motherwell, who had that goal disallowed in the first half, still drawing 0-0 against Hibs at Fir Park. Rangers Aberdeen. It's no longer goalless at Tynecastle. Ailey Barber.
That is the moment these Hearts fans have been looking for. Hearts take the lead from a free kick headed in at the back post by Oisin McEntee. It is Hearts 1, Dundee 0.
So that would take them 5 points clear of Celtic. Cambridge 1, Salford 0. MK Dons 1, Barnet 3 were the results in League 2. Our featured game is at Bromley, involving the leaders, Paul Scott.
17 minutes to go and Bromley have the breakthrough against Colchester. Will Hondamar caused all sorts of problems. His effort was deflected. Nick Kabamba span and shot into the roof of the net. Bromley 1, Colchester 0.
Looking to go 21 games unbeaten, Andy Woodman's side in League 2. These then are the latest scores. Accrington 0, Chesterfield 1. We know about Bromley leading Colchester by a goal to 0. Fleetwood 1, Crawley 0. Gillingham 1, Bristol Rovers 2. Grimsby 3, Barrow 0. Notts County 4, Cheltenham 2. Oldham 1, Harrogate Town 0. Shrewsbury 0. Crewe 4, Tranmere 0, Swindon 0, Walsall 1, Newport County 1, our latest scores in League 2. League 1 and the Championship to come. Here we are on BBC Radio 5 Live in just over 10 minutes remaining. And Ugachukwu chips the ball through the middle, looking for the knockdown header of Fleming towards Barnes. On the stretch, couldn't get there. Iwobi now looks to try and pass the ball to Chukwueze. Michael Brown.
Yeah, interesting now, isn't it? Burnley are taking risks, Fulham press, Iwobi on Walker, just pulling him to the ground. They're going for it. Burnley just want to play quickly. There's Barnes, Fleming, top of the pitch. The first touch for Edwards was disappointing. Just as they were gaining momentum, tried to put a long throw in. Diagonals on if they want it here for Burnley.
And looking for that diagonal is Walker, and he finds Hartman. Volleys over the cross first time. Looking towards Barnes, headed away and repelled by the Fulham defence. Cheltenham are down to 10 men. Sam Sherning has been sent off. No, it was right, Sam Sherring. That's not easy to see. Good job having that a sherry. Notts County 4, Cheltenham 2 is the latest score, and Kilmarnock have got a second against Livingston at Rugby Park. 2-1 for Fulham. We've got about 9.5 minutes remaining, and there is going to be another double change, this time for Fulham. Smith Rowe's going to come on for King.
Number 24.
He's done well, hasn't he, King?
Yeah, he has. Young player, great future ahead of him. It took a little bit of time to drift into the game, and then all of a sudden comes alive. Lovely little touches, round the corner, awareness over the shoulder, turned into space, and then to be involved in the moment. That recovered Fulham. Yeah, really positive. Great applause for him.
And the other change is Raul Jimenez coming on for Rodrigo Muniz, who's now gone 17 games without a goal.
Coming on number 7,
We'll give you the latest scores in League 1 after we've heard from Chris Cooper at Warrington.
It's getting embarrassing, this, for Castleford. Warrington 66, Castleford 6, a devil of a performance with a kick to come as well. James Harrison with the 11th try of the afternoon for Warrington, who've been totally dominant. 66-6, kick to come.
Thank you, Chris. Nothing comes from the Burnley throw on the left. Walker passes the ball back to Hartman, runs forward now, 25 yards from goal, shoots. Oh, it took a deflection. It was moving low in the air. Did the keeper get a touch? I think he might have done.
I think he saved it, you know. Deno Hartman just been involved a minute ago with a wonderful touch, a volley across, didn't work out. Then he takes it into space, hits this really well. Little deflection. It's a top save down the left-hand side.
It was deflected as well, which added to the deviation. Cross put in. Burnley battling. Humphreys with the cross, stands it over towards the far post. Plenty of white shirts there, and then volleyed away by Wilson as Fulham lead by 2-1. The results then earlier in League 1, Cardiff 0, Blackpool 0, Luton 1, Stockport County 1. These are the latest scores. Wimbledon 1, Peterborough 1, Barnsley 0, Doncaster Rovers 1 in the South Yorkshire Derby. Burton Albion lead Bradford City by 2-0. Leyton Orient 1-0 up against Wickham, who were down to 10 men as early as the 9th minute. Lincoln City, the leaders, looking to go 7 points clear and looking to stretch their unbeaten run to 22 games, a 3-0 up at home to Rotherham. Mansfield 3, Northampton 1, Plymouth 3, Huddersfield Town 1. Bottom of the table, Port Vale lead Bolton by a goal to 0. That will be the end of Bolton's 13-match unbeaten run. Stevenage Reading is goalless at Broadhall Way, and Wigan Athletic are leading Exeter by a goal to 0. I'll give you the latest scores in the Championship very, very soon. 7 minutes remaining of normal time. Berger just passes the ball short towards Chukwueze, carries it over the halfway line, far side the left, Cross comes in on the diagonal, collected right side of the penalty area by Jimenez, and then passes the ball back towards Castagna. And then Castagna to Anderson on the halfway line, and Fulham are in control. Ball spread out towards Chukwueze. Walker backpedaling, heads it forward. Ugachukwu will lay it off towards Humphreys, and he clears from inside his own penalty area. Anderson tries to get in front of Barnes, but slices his clearance, and it falls towards Fleming. Runs forward over the halfway line for Burnley, still looking for this equaliser. Ugachukwu shows his strength, passes the ball forward, but it bypasses Edwards, and Fulham can tidy up.
It's just that final pass, wasn't it? The Burnley are pressing higher, taking risks as expected. Jimenez there, just trying to get a touch on. But it's actually you go, we go, isn't it? There's no real structure anymore at the game. We want that.
Wilson spreads the ball out towards Chukwueze. Match the day tonight. Forget the first half. Just fast forward to half-time. Here is Chukwueze coming in into the area. Chukwueze goes for the outside of the left boot. Takes a deflection up in the air, caught by Dubravka. Right, the results earlier in the Championship: Blackburn 0, Middlesbrough 0, who was still second. Derby County 1, Birmingham 0, Ipswich 1, Millwall 1 was the result at Portman Road. These are the latest scores: Bristol City 0, West Bromwich Albion 1. West Brom got their first win in 14 last weekend, 1 point outside the relegation zone before today. It could be a 3 precious points at Ashton Gate. Charlton 0, Norwich City 1. Hull City 3, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Queen's Park Rangers 4, Portsmouth 1. Sheffield United 1, Wrexham 2. Phil Parkinson's side have come from behind, and they're matching Southampton, who are leading Oxford United by 2-0. It remains Watford 0, Leicester City 0. So with Southampton, Wrexham and Hull City all winning, those playoff positions are really tightening up. Penalty now at QPR, Jonathan Ledyard.
Richard Kone about to turn to make it 5 for Queen's Park Rangers against Portsmouth. In the sunshine, Escudino brought down as he charged through. It was a clear penalty. Referee Jonathan Busby, no hesitation. Kone yet to score. We've had 2 for Paul Smith, 2 for Ryan Colley, and it's now Kone against Schmidt in West London. Up steps Kone. Thank you very much indeed. That sums up the day for Portsmouth, and particularly for Queen's Park Rangers. 5-1 they lead with 4 minutes to go.
Wigan 2, Exeter City 0 is the latest score in League One. Burnley still pushing for an equaliser as they trail 2-1 and will nip to Northampton. James Burridge in the Rugby Union.
Proper scrap here in the Gardens. Newcastle looking for one of their biggest ever victories. Saints lead by 1 point. Benitez Cruz taking advantage after Furbank's pass went awry. They missed the conversion through Conan. What's 5.5 minutes to go? This could be Newcastle's biggest win in years. 21-20 Northampton lead.
And Burnley are making a change. Kyle Walker is the player going off, and it is Chowner who's come on to replace him, so it's an attacking move, and Harry Wilson is going to come off, and it's going to be Harrison Reed who is going to come on. But Chris Kavanagh is escorting Harry Wilson to lead him off behind the goal away towards our left, rather than him making the long way across the pitch.
This is obvious, really, isn't it? But obviously now they're just going to try and shore up the middle area. Makes sense, doesn't it? As Burnley go for it. You just see a little bit of a difference in the 2 centre-backs when Barnes is around. They know he's aggressive, they know he's got that gamesmanship, the dark arts we mentioned.
The throw's actually taken short by Burnley on this near side, the left. Hartman to deliver the cross into the penalty area, met by the header away by Anderson, knocked back in, headed by a stooping Bassi. Now the break is on for Fulham. Jimenez through the centre circle, passes the ball out wide to the left, far side. Iwobi midway through the Burnley half, runs forward, now sends over a cross right down the throat of Dubravka. Stevenage 1, Reading 0 is the latest score in League One. Back to Jonathan Ledyard at QPR.
Queen's Park Rangers 6, Portsmouth 1. Kone's got on the act. He's just got a double. Breakaway goal. Portsmouth in disarray. 6-1 Rangers.
Earlier, Brighton and Hove Albion beat Liverpool 2-1. We've got commentary to come at Everton against Chelsea 5:30 here on 5 Live. We'll have updates of Leeds United Brentford at 8 o'clock. As Edwards, near side the left, sends over the cross onto his toes. Castagna heads the ball behind for a corner kick. Burnley, far from dispirited, still looking to try and grab an equaliser.
Yeah, Edwards just thinks, right, you know what, I'm just going to put the ball in quickly, try and get in behind that back line. You just watch, don't you, Anderson and Bassi just control it, step in, step up. Really good pairing, them two. And now an opportunity. The ball's got to be good here. There's no one near post. They keep going back post. Get one across the front.
Under 2 minutes remaining. Burnley have a corner kick near side the left. Goes all the way towards the far post and actually curls all the way out for a goal kick. Grimsby Town have got a 4th goal against bottom of the table Barrow in League 2. And Livingston, bottom of the table, are now down to 10 men because Kabongolo has been sent off late on at Rugby Park. So Kilmarnock now lead Livingston by 2 goals to 0. Remember, Hearts, the leaders, 1-0 up against Dundee, looking to go 5 points clear. The leaders of League 1, Lincoln, are 3-0 up against Rotherham, extending their lead, and Bromley are also in League 2, 1-0 up against Colchester United. Tranmere Rovers 0, Swindon Town 1 is the latest score. Tranmere have lost 12 of their previous 14 games. It could be another defeat. Ball lifted over the top, flag stays down, Fleming runs forward for Burnley, edge of the area, looks for Chowner ahead of him. Chowner with a cutback save by Leno at the near post, dives on the loose ball. Fulham lead 2-1.
It was just back to front too quick. There was only 2 there, wasn't there? Fleming and Chowner. And then there was no one else. He tried to just push it across, desperate defending. Goalkeeper managed to hold it near post. Are we going to see late drama here, or Fulham going to be able to see it out? You do fancy them, Fulham, to get a chance on the counter, but they're getting forced back. Full credit to Burnley. A little bit late in this occasion. I said they've been safe, really, in what they've applied themselves in the game.
Well, there is going to be 6 minutes of stoppage time here at Craven Cottage. And just inputting that details now into that electronic board. And there we are from Craig Pawson, the 4th official.
6 minutes
So a minimum of 6 minutes to be added on. And Fulham are leading Burnley by 2 goals to 1. After the international break, the game's coming up for Burnley, at home to Brighton, away to Nottingham Forest, and then they travel to Manchester City on the 26th of April. West Bromwich Albion have beaten Bristol City by 1 goal to 0. What a valuable 3 points that is for James Morrison in temporary charge of West Brom. Reed with a cross from the left-hand side. Jimenez on the stretch, but his header is over the top of the crossbar. Full time now at St Mary's in the Championship, Will Perry.
Southampton 2, Oxford 0. The first half goals did the job. Carl Larin tapped them in front. Shay Charles then produced a 30-yard goal of the season contender. 12 games unbeaten for the home side. Oxford slipped to second bottom, point from safety. Southampton 2, Oxford 0.
Fulham gave the ball away. It looked like there might have been an opening for Smith Rowe, but Humphries just took it off his toes. Sessegnon burst forward with a pacey run into the penalty area, finds Smith Rowe, he tees up Reed, first time right-footed shot block. Fulham try and pass the ball back out to this right-hand side, and it'll be kept in play by Chukwueze. Castagna knocks it forward, and Estev steps out of defence, but his forward ball will see Anderson with a back pass towards Leno, and Fulham in stoppage time lead 2-1. Let's get the details of that vital win for West Brom. Mark Webber.
Win number 2 in a row for West Brom. Game came alive 26 minutes in. George Campbell heading home, and they stuck with it until Bristol City had a mini resurgence in the final quarter, but they held them off to make it Bristol City 0, West Brom 1.
Bradford City have reduced the arrears at Burton in injury time, but Burton still lead by 2 goals to 1, and also in added time in League 1, Mansfield Town have managed to score a 4th goal. 4-1, they lead Northampton Town. That will be 9 without a win. Colin Calderwood is now caretaker charge of Northampton. 2 minutes of the 6 we've had here at Craven Cottage. What are your thoughts so far, Michael Brown, as we draw to a conclusion here at Craven Cottage?
Well, obviously I thought Fulham might have a chance. Smith Rowe, great touch, actually good defending, but Burnley are chucking everything at them now. But will they find their way?
Chukwueze runs forward on the right-hand side. Burnley, though, have 3 claret shirts to deal with Chukwueze, but he places the ball to Jimenez. Jimenez is forward, good save by Dubravka, and then picks up the loose ball. But the referee's given a penalty. It'll be a penalty to Fulham, and Dubravka's shown red. Dubravka has been sent off. We have late drama, a penalty to Fulham, and the Burnley keeper has been dismissed. And a red card has been shown at Tynecastle. Ailey Barber.
10, they have the lead by 1 goal to 0, but Frankie Kent sent off a second yellow card. Dundee pushing for an equaliser. Remember, they scored twice beyond the 90-minute mark in that incredible draw in the Dundee derby last week. It's still Hearts 1, Dundee 0.
Well, it was Chukwueze whose vision picked out the run of Raul Jimenez, who hit it right-footed. But what has Dubravka done to result in the red card? He made the initial save.
Listen, well, we're having a look now. They've got in front of the goalkeeper. There's a little nudge. Is it not even Dubravka? Is it the foul? Josh Laurent, maybe the push. You know, from there on, we're having a little look. That might be the one, the push, Deno. You see Josh Laurent walking here now. They're pushing the back as initially as he was going to take the shot on. Just knocked him off balance, and that's what the referee's seen.
Well, it is Josh Laurent who's been sent off for the initial challenge on Raul Jimenez. Did you, like me, think that Dubravka had been shot?
Well, it was just the way it was, because we didn't get a look at the ground of where he was, whether he'd pulled him down from after saving it. But once they've opened it up there, it's a great ball in now, and the referee was on top. And I said, is it a little bit harsh for the nudge? I think some people will say it is, but now an opportunity for somebody who probably needs a goal. Big moment here, straight run up.
Raul Jimenez has the best Premier League record at taking penalties. He's scored 13 out of 13. It's a chance to extend that record. It's a stuttering run-up by Raul Jimenez, and he scores right-footed, 14 out of 14. He drops to his knees to celebrate, and Burnley are dropping out of the Premier League.
Watch this.
It's another nail in their coffin.
Just for a second, there's two stops, you know, in his run-up. Really like a stop in the momentum. Ashley Barnes is all over the official here. Will they have a look at this? Will they think something different?
There were two stoppages in that stuttering run. Notts County 5, Cheltenham 2. We heard from Ailey about Frankie Kent being sent off. Walsall 2, Newport County 1. He scored all 9 penalties for Fulham, but 14 out of 14. His last miss actually was for Wolves in 2020. But now they lead Burnley by 3 goals to 1. He got his fingertips to it, Dubravka.
Yeah, he did. Brilliant. You know, yeah, he gets it right. But do you know what? He stops, but he sort of shuffles his feet at the same time and almost sort of comes backwards, and then another little so the feet are always moving, although he stops straight upright. That's probably what they'll say.
Full time at Tynecastle, and Hearts ramping up the pressure on Celtic and Rangers. Ailey Barnes.
They are indeed. Just a single goal required for Hearts to extend their lead at the top to 5. Not the most exciting of games, but Oisin McEntee's back post header from a free kick sealed a 4th consecutive 1-0 win for Hearts at home. Frankie Kent sent off late. It did not matter. 7 more games between Hearts and a first title for 66 years. It's finished at Tynecastle. Hearts 1, Dundee 0.
Leyton Orient 2, Wycombe Wanderers 0 is the latest score in League One. And there are no other latest scores to tell you about. Well, if you'd have said to me at half-time, we're going to see 4 goals in the second half, even the supporters behind us here.
Chukwueze almost got another one at the back post, but he didn't catch it. He sort of shinned it off that ankle bone and away, you know, from goal. But, you know, and obviously Burnley as well, for that little challenge, go away with a red card. They've showed endeavour, and they've had a go, but as soon as Fulham upped it, as soon as Josh King got involved, it was going to be a little bit much, and really strange outcome. Talked about the goals. You didn't believe, did you? We had belief. It was there.
They started the day 7 points off a European place. They'll be pushing for European football with Fulham. They're pushing for more goals here. Chukwueze left-footed with a turn and shot first time just wide. That was very close to creeping inside that left-hand post as we look. 3-1 Fulham.
Yeah, they were queuing up on the edge of the area. A little square pass. He takes his touch and he curls it round. It's a lovely effort, you know. Just outside the penalty area, just left the centre. He knows exactly where the goal is, just flicks it round and it's coming back side netting.
The man to my right, producer Gary Flintoff, who had more than a cameo role in the latest edition of the Commentators View podcast that you can download through BBC Sounds on the Football Daily feed. He's beavering away. He talked then about his interviewing technique. You'll be hearing from him very soon live into Sports Report. After it's finished here, Fulham 3, Burnley 1. Michael.
Yeah, really interesting ending to the game, but You've got to take opportunities. Burnley had a couple. They obviously had the effort, but it's that quality, isn't it? Final third to build up the confidence, and then this stadium, we've seen a real solid performers in Fulham throughout the season, now into a great position in the league table. They just stepped up a notch when they went behind, and then Josh King involved. They had the resources of Jimenez to come on as well, but that boy, he's made the difference all season, really. Capped it off, didn't he? Some wonderful strikes where he couldn't find the breakthrough in the first half, but his strike as he come in from that right-hand side on the left foot really put them into a great position, Wilson. And there on, Burnley lose again, a similar feeling, but this Fulham side who are a little bit inconsistent, pushing towards that top sort of 8 position, Marco Silva position, who might want to carry on.
Well, Fulham are up to 8. They're only 5 points behind 5th place Liverpool. They had to come from behind, but they beat Burnley by 3 goals to 1.
Reaction from Craven, Cottage to come during his sports report. Let's go to Hull, because they've turned it round at home to Sheffield Wednesday. Shojo Saka.
It's finished Hull 3, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Business-like victory for Hull in the end. After falling behind to Jamal Lowe's opener for Wednesday, Hull equalised immediately through Matt Crooks, then took the lead through with a Wednesday own goal. Dominic Iorfa heading into his own net. Kyle Joseph made it 3-1 to Hull in the second half, and that settled it. Word for the travelling Wednesday fans, who, remember, are travelling to see a relegated team. They've been amazing with their singing. It is finished Hull 3, Wednesday 1.
We heard from Will Perry not long ago that Southampton have won. They have the final playoff spot as things stand. Wrexham, though, level on points with them. Sonny Rejavagula.
Sheffield United 1, Wrexham 2. Wrexham turning it around to keep up that playoff push. United with a host of chances. Andre Brooks bundling home early in the second, but Windas's cool finish, fed by Sam Smith, and a diving header from their front man to win it. Smith's 9 in all, mean it's Sheffield United 1, Wrexham 2.
Portsmouth's relegation fears have not been eased this afternoon. They have been thrashed. Jonathan Ledyard.
6-1 the final score at Queen's Park Rangers. 6 in the sunshine for Queen's Park Rangers, long-suffering home supporters after their recent drought. 3 in the first half, 3 in the second. Doubles for Paul Smith, Ryan Colley, Richard Kone, including a penalty. In between, John Swift gave them hope, but they didn't finish as good as they should have done. Instead now, 5 defeats in 6. Their relegation fears deepen, and the goal difference has taken a massive hit. QPR's biggest win of the season, biggest win in 6 years. 6-1 they've beaten Portsmouth.
Yeah, it doesn't help that West Brom have won at Bristol City. Leicester have got a point this afternoon in a goalless draw at Watford. At the Valley, it finished Charlton 0, Norwich 1. Let's go into League One. The leaders just keep winning. Sam Ashew.
They certainly do, Mark. It ends Lincoln 3, Rotherham 0. 3 first half Lincoln goals meant this one was over before the break. The first going down is a Ted Cannon goal after he failed to keep out Rico Hackett. Shot Ben House made it 2 after Hackett pulled it back. Hackett then getting his goal.